That's right. It's time for the Dog and Chicken Show. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This would be, well, I don't know if we're going to call this episode 15. I don't know. This is another special edition. I did another special edition the other night. But I guess since Tony's with us, I guess we can make this officially episode 15 because he was able to join in on this one. But a special edition with Tony and a special guest, Brett DeLay, joining us, and we're gonna have some conversation around some stuff Brett's into. I didn't really know Brett was into a couple of these things, and then me being the nerd I am, I started jumping into it. So, Brett, what are we going to talk about tonight?
The stock market.
Yeah, everybody just shut this off right there.
Yeah, I'm out, guys. Bye.
It's pretty overwhelming when you first when you open up like TD Ameritrade. I mean, it's very, very overwhelming. But I don't know. I probably got, I'd say, 9,000 hours of time invested into it. Like,
Sheesh.
I mean, I just go every night, every morning. This is what I do. So my goal is to do this full time. That's what I want to do.
Yeah, that's the dream, man. Like being able to work from home, make some good money.
But that depends on who you talk to. Some people say that the American dream is to work 40 hours a week.
Oh, hell no. Mine's play on my computer.
Add another 10 hours to that. It's 50.
I'll tell you, when I got started, I had a buddy that I shot pool with, and he started with penny stocks, and he's showing me like he put $200 into a stock and made $1,000. I'm like, what? Get out of here, you know? And so I started digging into it. I'm like, shit, this guy's for real, you know? And the first guy I looked up, or the first guy I found, was Tim Sykes, and Tim Sykes ain't Tim Sykes. He ain't who you want to follow.
So he's not a legit dude, or
he's legit. I mean, the guy makes money, but he makes most of his money off of like people that subscribe to him and take his courses and stuff. That's where he makes most of his money.
Gotcha.
Well, once you get a following, yeah, that's where you're going to make most of your money, regardless of what your main profession is.
Yeah, I mean, he don't have to trade anymore, you know.
Yeah.
But he started in penny stocks, so it's like his parents gave him like 12 grand, and he just took off and went nuts. He made a shit ton of money. But it had been 2 years ago. Well, January will be 2 years ago. And I told my wife that this is what I wanted to do. She's always supported me, you know. And I sold my little S10 pickup for $1,050, and that's what I started with. So
$1,500 gets you started, huh?
$1,050.
Oh, 1,050. Man.
Yeah.
So how quickly did you turn $1,000 into profit?
Well, I actually blew that up. I mean, I lost that money because it's kind of like in the trader world, they call it paying your college tuition. You know, you lose thousands of dollars at first, which isn't what you want to do, but people don't like to stick with it. You know, they lose $1,000 or $2,000 and they're done. You know, we'll let these guys do it for me, you know. But I've taken $300 and saw thousands of dollars with it. So, and I've also put in thousands of dollars and lost thousands of dollars. So it really comes down. You got to do your research, but I'm a technical analysis trader. So I trade what the charts give me. I don't trade what the news and media give me, really. I mean, I pay attention to, obviously, Trump and the China talk. That moves the needle
Yeah, that
in
moved the
one
needle a
direction.
lot in the last week or so. Like there was a since me and Brett first started talking about this, I opened up a little account on what is it, Robinhood. It's a free one where
Robin
you
Hood,
can
yeah.
just do a few bucks and play with some penny stocks and do some silly stuff. But it's and of course the day I did that, I threw $15 at it just to say, well, I got $15. I don't care if I lose it, whatever, it happens.
Right.
And that very day is when all the news went nuts about the trade war and the Dow went down the toilet and right away every stock I bought just went down the freaking drain right away. I'm making my money back though right now. I'm up to
Right.
$18 on my 15. I've made it back now and I'm in the
There you go.
green now. But
Are you buying actual? Did you buy actual stocks or did you buy options or what?
yeah, I bought I bought 5 shares in a Oh, it's a drilling company up here in Minnesota, South
Sure.
Dakota, and North Dakota. Just bought a whole bunch of land, and the only reason I bought that one is I know a guy that works for him, and he's like, "Oh yeah, we just bought thousands of acres." He's like, "We're not
Oh,
drilling yet, but we're gonna be, and we're gonna make some money on this." I'm like, "Well, yeah,
yeah.
whatever. I'll buy some shares in that. How could I lose?"
All right. So that's a little insider. I like that. That's nice. I trade mainly options. So with options, you are basically betting that the stock is going to go up or go down. So you can make money both ways. It don't matter which way it goes. And you buy like if you think the stock's going to go up, you buy a call. If you think it's going to go down, you buy a put. So like today, I own some calls and should have probably sold out of them, but I held on to them because there's one specific one that I'm holding because they have earnings report Thursday, and I
Gotcha.
think they're
See,
gonna beat.
you wanna see what's gonna happen with that and where they're going.
Yeah, yeah, I'm not in it for a lot of money, so I've already actually I pulled some money off of that same stock last week, so I've reinvested my winnings to try and capture, you know, a shit ton more.
Yeah.
So,
So I guess for like we gotta remember the audience here. Probably they've never,
mhm,
most of us have a 401k or may have a little bit of stock option at work or some little things like that. But
mhm,
we gotta be pretty layman with a lot of this stuff, and even with me, it's like
yep,
I'm pretty stupid to a lot of this still. I'm just dipping my foot in the pool right now. But
yeah.
there's difference between a day trader and a regular trading and what's going on. What's this three trade limit thing? Like how's that work? Because
So
I'm
that's
I'm weird and I'm finicky and I'm like, oh no, I just want to sell it now, but I'm
yeah.
told that's a bad thing.
Well, there's they put it's called the PDT rule, and they put it into play so that people like you can't lose all your money, basically. But it like with TD Ameritrade, people get it under misunderstood. The PDT rule only applies to margin accounts. So a margin account is like you basically so you put 3,000 in, TD Ameritrade's going to give you like 5,000 to trade with. So, but you they'll never lose their money. I mean, you'll always pay them, but it's like a loan basically. So
Gotcha.
I don't use margin because I'm not going to borrow money to trade with. That's just to me it's stupid. There's a lot of people that do it that trade straight stock, and what I mean by straight stock is trading the actual stock itself. So let's just say Walmart because I got it pulled up right now. It trades at $112 a share, 112.42. So trading straight stock, you're buying that actual stock. So each share you're paying $112 for. Buying the option, which is what I do, you you buy in contracts. So say I want to buy 10 contracts at Walmart let's just look August 30th at a strike price. A strike price is this is a price that I think Walmart can hit is 114. It trades at 0.23 or that's the bid price. The ask price is 0.25. So I always try and go in between those. The bid and the ask is, okay, somebody's bidding $23 and somebody's asking 25. So usually you can get in the mid is what they call it. And it says 0.23 and 0.25, but you roll the decimal over and it's actually $23 and $25 per contract. So each contract is like having 100 shares of the actual stock.
Gotcha. So
if
for
you
that
buy
one,
10 contracts-
that one you'd be thrown down like $1,100.
No, that's the key to it. So on this one, if I wanted to buy, I don't have my calculator, but say I bought 10 at 25. What is that? Do the math. I'm terrible.
So that'd be $250.
$250. And you bought 10 contracts.
So what are those contracts actually worth though? They're not worth a full stock then?
It's like buying 100 shares of the stock.
So it's like
Each
buying
contract.
So it'd be like buying the $1,100 or $1,200 for $250.
Right.
What's that contract entail then?
What do you mean?
Like, do you have to hang on to that for so long, or you're betting that it's going to hit 100 or 114, and then when it does, you can sell?
Yeah. Yes, but no, it doesn't have to. So they have expirations. Options have expirations. So like Walmart, there's an August 30th, a September 6th, a September 13th. So if you buy a week, or not a week, but I guess what's the best way to describe this?
So if I were to buy one of those, say I do that 250 bucks for the 100 potential shares or whatever thought process. I get where you're going with that. And say it had the August 3rd. I had till August 3rd to hit $115 on that share. So say it hit 115 in 2 days. Can I just back out and take my money and run, or do I have to hold out that whole time?
Okay, I'll share this screen right here. So you can see this screen, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Bingo. This is what I want to share. Okay, so this is my demo account. I'm never, hardly ever in it. All I use it for is charting sometimes on my other computer. So this right here is what...
This looks like a lot of shit.
It does, but it's not really. I mean, it's real simple. So right here is where I was talking, 23 to 25.
Okay. I see.
Okay.
I see in the bid X and the ask X column, you got 0.23B and 0.25Z is what he's pointing at there.
So we can go over the columns. So this is open interest. So these are the people interested in these strike prices. This is your strike here.
Okay, so we wanted to hit $114.
That's usually when I get in an option, I won't enter it unless I think the stock can potentially hit that price. Now that it doesn't have to hit that price for you to make money at all.
Right.
So this is an August
stock that's recently been like 120. It's been up and down, so 114 is not crazy to think.
It's actually yearly is 115.49, and I see it. It actually bumped it again, but it could potentially go back up there. I'll get more into that, but so this purple is called in the money strikes, and these are this is near the money, and then after that is out of the money. So I usually don't go much more than 3 to 4. I mean, 4 is really pushing it. Strikes out of the money.
Those are bad bets typically then, or people just aren't interested in those.
Well, the problem with options is there's time decay. So you got Greeks, you see the delta and the gamma and all that stuff. I don't really use those. I use the theta a little bit, which is, so like say I buy this one and my theta is like a 1.25. So every day I hold that thing, and it'll fluctuate, but every day I hold it, it's going to drop $1.25. I'm going to lose $1.25 just because of time decay. So here I'll show you what I meant by
So
the week.
even if that stock goes up, you could still end up flat.
Yeah, right. It depends on how long it takes to go up. That's why you determine where you want to buy. So say, and they get more expensive the further you go out. So September 27th, see now that 114, look at the price of it now. Now it's it's $178 because it's called buying time. So the more time you buy, the more expensive the contracts are going to be. Now you can come clear out here, and I've made money on these, 100% I have, but they're more risky, I guess, because is Walmart going to hit 119? Possibly, but has it? Not in a long time. So I
Right.
look back. I mean, I'll look back 10 years at a stock and see, like I bought some January contracts for Apple, and I have some January contracts for what's the other one? AMD it's a chip stock.
Yeah, I
It's
hear AMD's been one a lot of people been going after.
yeah. So I thought it hit off of some key support areas, so I was like, well, I'm going to jump in on it, and I didn't throw a bunch of money, a couple $100, and hopefully turn that into, $500 or $600
So real quick,
way
Surprised
before
you've not
January.
seen like a bunch of streaming style, like Disney or the Marvel, like the new upstart streaming stuff. I would think that that would be something maybe people would be looking at.
Yeah. I look at a lot. See, I got a watch list over here, and once again, I don't use this. I mean, these are just ones that I'd thrown in there long time ago, but I throw them in there and I'll watch them. And I got all my charts linked together on my computers. So if I click on one of these, it pulls up like a 5 minute, 15 minute, 30 minute hourly chart and a daily chart. And so I can look at all those time frames. And because I've had so many hours invested into this, I can look at a chart and determine within, you know, a minute if it's worth trading, at that time. I mean, every stock trades within a range. So as long as you can find the range and you know where to buy the time, or you have, $100,000 that you can invest and buy the straight stock, that's the way to do it if you have the money there to do it. But
yeah. So yeah, if you could buy the stock full price, then you can sell it as quick as you want, right?
yeah, so I'll pull up Amazon here if
So
it'll
real
come
quick
up.
for while Brett's pulling this up, anybody just listening in case you're on Spotify or iTunes or anything. So I really recommend you pull up our YouTube channel and follow along here. Brett's got this crazy screen and he's right. It's not as complicated as it looks when you first look at it. It's a little intimidating, but
It
as
is
you as
very,
you as you as you kind of start like getting a feel for what this looks like and what it's telling you, it's not so bad. But it will take some studying and taking some look at, and it is impossible to describe vocally by just looking at it on here. We're dummies on here. Don't
You're
forget that.
basically looking at that little ticker on like CNET, but it's the entire screen. Except we're over here on the right, and we're really handsome. So definitely pull up that YouTube.
Yeah. There you go.
yeah. So this is very, I mean, like I said, when
So
I
we're
pulled
looking at
this,
Amazon.
this is Amazon. So
Okay.
where I was saying, unless you have hundreds of thousands of dollars, you can't just go buy Amazon. You know, I mean, you buy one share of Amazon for $1,761. One share is not. I mean, you're not going to move. You're not going to make no money. You can make money, but it's going to take a long time. And I want to be in and out. In a few minutes. I've literally been in and out of a stock and made hundreds of dollars in a matter of seconds. I mean, it's crazy. People don't believe it, but I've got buddies that, I mean, this stuff has changed their lives, and they do it full time every day.
So is there that rule though? Like I think I mentioned it earlier. Maybe I missed it
Uh-huh.
or maybe I wasn't paying attention. But like the 3 trades a week.
Yeah, so there is, I think I went on, it's with margin accounts, and then I went on to something else. But so with a margin account, there's a PDT rule, It's a pattern day trader. If you trade more than 3 trades in a week, I believe it's a week, you get your account gets flagged for pattern day trading. So unless you have over 25K in your account, you cannot trade more than 3 trades if you're on a margin account. Now, I have a cash account only, so it don't matter how much money I got in there. As long as I have the funds available to trade, I can trade as many times as I want. I've been in and out of probably 10's probably the most I've been in and out of in a day. 10 different
Gotcha.
stocks.
So that all depends on So I imagine like you're not using brokers or anything. You're probably paying for or an app or signed up through a certain trade company or something. Or like how where do you go to transfer your funds through and how's that work? Like I said, I'm using Robinhood, just messing around with it right now, dipping my
Hmm.
foot in the water. And like mine, I have to transfer money from my bank account to Robinhood, and I can't do anything else but the money that I gave Robinhood to begin with. And I can pull it
Right.
whenever I want. I can do whatever I want. But
Hmm.
it does warn me about the day trader thing, even though like they have my funds, like I paid for it. I'm
Yeah.
not doing anything extra. So
Right. So TD Ameritrade is who I recommend. I mean, that's who I use. Their customer service is fantastic, and their Thinkorswim platform is on another level. I mean, the things you can do with your charts are just crazy. You can call. I mean, I got the guy that handles my account. I can call him and he answers. I can leave him a voicemail, but I have his direct line. Like I don't have to call and wait for somebody, and or get an operator and then get put over to somebody else. It's instantly he knows who I am. All I got to do is tell him my name, tell him my account balance, and boom, we're rolling. So it's TD Ameritrade is amazing, and they have what's also nice about them is they have this right here, this simulated trading account, and you could start it off with I don't know what's in here, $183,000. So obviously, not many people that are starting off have 183. So I never recommend doing start off with
right, you
trading.
could really fuck yourself over with that.
Right, and it gives false hope too. Because the more money you put in, the quicker and the easier it is to make money. So you buy 20 or 30 contracts of something, all it's got to do is move a couple points and you made a couple $100, you know.
Yeah.
So
So it's high risk, high reward, really.
if you trade that way, yes. Now I do a lot of low risk, high reward, which is some people don't like it. I kind of like it, but that's where I said, well, this is a bad one to show you. Let's pull up Alta because
Tony, have you done any trading? Like I know, like I've been talking a lot about me dipping my foot in the pool, but I'm a dummy with this. Like I have a lot of
I,
shares and stock at work, and I've messed with this a little bit, and I've researched it, and I always watch the stock market. I don't always know what the hell I'm watching, but like I pay attention to it just because I have so much invested in my company and 401k. So like I do pay attention every day. I got a ticker on my phone, and I'm always watching it, and
yeah.
Tony, what's your involvement and like where are you at with this? You probably have more questions than I do.
Yeah, I don't. I haven't ever dabbled myself. I've talked to people who have, obviously. Mostly what I'm seeing market wise is grain market, and it's pretty comparable.
Hmm.
Obviously, you're hedging your bets in a much different way, but it still works very very similarly. Somebody I'd talked to somewhat recently was telling me kind of how they got. I don't want to call it like a parlay as far as like a bet would go, but you're betting against somebody else as far as the stocks that you're purchasing. And I'm sure I can't think of the terminology off the top of my head. Maybe Brett knows what I'd be referring to, but you're kind of going head to head with somebody betting against a stock or for a stock.
So basically, the only way I know that, I think this is what you're trying to say, is if you're making money, somebody's losing money, and if you're losing money, somebody's making money. That's basically how the stock market works. I mean that there's, because in order for you to make money, it's coming out of somebody else's pocket, an investor somewhere. So that's the dumbed down version of it. That's the only way I know it. I'm not real bright. You don't have to be a genius to do this stuff. That's what's cool about it. And
Yeah,
you
you just
don't
have
need
to
a
find
college
where you want to
education.
So
wander into a gold mine cheap stock.
so you're
And I
saying
actually,
there's a chance.
yeah, dude, this one's crazy. So 2 years ago, or no, not 2 years ago, about 4 years ago, when I first started dabbling in the penny stocks, I didn't have much money to trade with. So I put $200 into RMRK. Now it's not an optionable stock. Not all stocks are optionable, but this one I bought, it was like 0.0001. So I would buy $200 worth, 2 million shares of this stock. It'd go up to 0.0002. I'd make 200 bucks. I'd sell it and it dropped back down. And I'd just keep doing that. Well, one day it didn't go back up. It stayed at the 0.0001. So I owned 2 million shares of this stock. And it was when I switched jobs to Napa. I started working at Napa and I was trying to, get myself familiarized with how everything worked there. So I wasn't checking it daily like I previously was. And then TD Ameritrade bought Scottrade out. So my accounts, I had an account with both brokers. So they merged and it sent me a notification saying my account was available on TD Ameritrade or merge your account or something. And so I'm like, well, I better check this out. I clicked in there. It was worth that $200 investment was worth 1,700 bucks. I quick sold it. And then I looked back, that thing had ran up. It was worth almost $11,000
Phew.
off of $200. Crazy.
Fuck, man. That's
Yeah.
so that gets me so it gets me excited, but it doesn't.
Uh-huh.
So one of the ones I just messed with. It was what's that weird dog meme? Tony, do you know what I'm talking about?
The- What?
Doge? Doji?
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, so they made a cryptocurrency, and it originally started with a meme, but then they turned it into a cryptocurrency, and it was kind of a joke, but then it kind of took off, but it didn't, and so it's let me look it up on my phone. It is worth like 0.00026 cents or something right now.
Uh-huh. Yep.
And so yeah, here we go. I got 312 shares at 0.002574. And it's crypto, so it goes 24/7. This thing's always up and down all over the place. But this one's really, really volatile and it's not doing well. And it's been going down steadily
Yep.
for 3 months. So I didn't put a lot of stock into that one, but
Yep.
like yeah, I see your point there at that one at 0.0025 cents. Even if I put $50 at that and that thing doubles
Right.
in a day, that's not much really. Like,
No.
but I could
That's,
make $50 in a day pretty easily just doing that with those little stocks. Now that one's a probably more traded. I see that one go. Here's the thing, and maybe you can enlighten me to this. I see this stock particularly this last week. I've been messing around with it. I got a whole 80 cents invested into it. So man, my heart's gonna be broken if I lose money. But but I see this thing just like skyrocket, drop, like
Mhm.
in minutes. Like every 5 minutes, this thing skyrockets and then drops, and it goes up 150%, and then it drops 150%. Is that probably what's going on? Is folks popping in when they see it hit that rock bottom, and then they throw $100 at it or 200
Yeah.
bucks at it, and then watch it fly up, and then pull it out as soon as they can?
Yeah, most likely. Like I said, I'm mainly stick to options, but there are some. I actually traded a PCTL last week. Yeah, it was last week, and I think I was
So
in it
what's
for
a
$100.
what's a PCTL?
I have no clue what the company is. My
Oh, so
buddy,
that's the trade name or the
yeah,
stock name.
it's the ticker. They call it the ticker.
I thought you were like giving us another term. I'm like, dude, my mind
No,
is freaking.
so
I can only
like I
take
said,
so many acronyms today.
I I've spent. I'll bet you easy 9,000, if not more. I literally look this stuff up every single night. I trade every morning. I'm at my, not always at my desk, but I trade for my phone a lot too. If my wife's got something going on, then I'll watch Bentley in the morning. But I trade for my phone. But most of the time, I'm at my computer. I got a six screens, 27-inch monitors, all six of them, and then I have a 32-inch that I watch the news on CNBC just to kind of listen for Trump. To
Yeah, so I sent Tony a picture of my desk where I got like a 27-inch iMac, and then I got my PC. I got a couple extra monitors hooked up, and it's kind of ghetto when I compare it to yours. Like I got a lot going on at my desk because like I have a little like podcast station, then I have a little like workstation, and then I have like you do, like I'm watching the
yep.
news or paying attention to other crap off to the side, but. Yeah, and then you sent me a picture of your setup. I was like, man.
It's pretty wild. I actually used to have. I mean, that's a whole nother thing. I had a what's called an expert advisor. It's a robot, and it actually traded the forex for me. I did absolutely nothing but fund it. That's all I did. So
Oh wow, that's cool.
that was kind of wild. That one, it was wild. I mean, it kept me up at night because it's literally trading from Sunday at 4 p.m. to Friday at 4 p.m. 24 hours a day. So it buys and sells stocks for you, and it literally kept me up 24 hours before because I mean I let it have a hold of quite a bit of money, and it had made me a lot of money, and then it was down a lot of money, and I was shitting myself like, why did you allow this thing to trade $7,000-8,000 when you wouldn't put that much into one stock yourself? But you're letting this robot do it, and if you lose power, you lose internet, he shuts off.
Oh, that just
So
gets into the matrix, man.
yeah, so I mean I got battery backups. I mean, I had at one point had two internet services. So it got pretty wild. So I actually I cut my losses on him. I still made money, but I shut him off and I just used that computer for charts. So I got two monitors on that computer and then four on my MacBook Pro because that's all a little handle is for. But um, yeah, it's you don't need this many monitors to trade though. You can literally trade from your cell phone.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Very.
I do a lot just peeking at my phone. I have a whole three stocks that I'm in just because I was all worried about that three
I'm
rolling.
telling you, you get into TD Ameritrade, start an account with them. You don't have to put your money in right away. Start an account with them, and you won't regret it because they are. I mean, they're amazing, and they got fees. Like every contract I buy, obviously I've negotiated my contract prices down. So every contract I buy, I pay $1. So that's in and out. So actually, if I buy one contract, it costs me $2 to trade that one contract.
So yeah,
So
you got to pay a fee to get the contract and then to close the contract.
yep, right. So you got that fee, but other than that, I mean, they're just phenomenal. Really, they are. So,
So
I mean, I could go on. Like I said, I've got thousands of hours into this, and it would literally take me. I could probably spend a weekend with you, and you can make money doing this.
So I guess for any viewers or anybody listening, I guess what would be like you've been like you said we talked that 10,000 hour rule, and if
Hmm.
anybody doesn't know, that's like the rule of expertise. So like
Yeah,
that's a 4 year college degree pretty much when you put your 2,000 or your 10,000 hours in. It's the thought process. So Brett's
right.
approaching that piece of it. So Brett, like, I guess I'm a dummy coming into this. I'm very conservative, and I'm never gonna throw a ton of money at this unless I call it fuck you money. If I have fuck you
Uh-huh.
money, then I don't care if I
Right.
lose, then I
Right.
might take
Yep.
a risk. But that's like
Right.
going to Vegas. And that's what
Yeah.
it would be for me. It's for
And,
fun if I were to do it. But anybody who's serious about getting into this, who do they look into? Like, what people should they pay attention to, follow? Who do they reach out to? You already mentioned T or what was
yeah.
it? Uh what bank was it that you mentioned getting with?
TD Ameritrade.
TD
Yeah.
Ameritrade, yeah. Like,
And they got a lot of training videos on there, but I don't watch any of their trading videos, or
gotcha.
training videos.
We both actually connected on we looked up the same lady, and like I've been paying attention for a week, and I was like, hey, I've been checking out this chick on Twitter, and you like held up, you already read her book.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
was on the right path there. That's Stephanie Camerman.
Cameraman. Yeah. That's a whole nother level. Like I said, like the dark pools, I just got into that recently. I honestly, where I heard first about dark pools was the TV show on, oh man, oh, it's on one of the deals. It's called Billions. It is phenomenal. But I heard him talk about dark pools in there, and I'm like, what the hell are these dark pools about? So I started looking. I'm like, I cannot find much about it, and obviously kept running. Her name kept popping up, Stephanie. So I was like, screw it, I'm going to buy the book. So I bought the book and I started reading it. And I hate reading, but I read that book literally in like 2 days because I mean, I stayed up 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning reading this book. And the dark pools are just, I mean, that's not where you want to start, really.
Yeah,
I mean,
don't start there. I started watching those videos. I was like, it's complicated enough getting into this business, but man, I was watching that and like I love like I could understand what she's talking about, but I was
mhm.
like, man, I gotta go through kindergarten before I can go to 12th grade.
Yeah, yeah, there's another one that I'm actually really interested in, and it's called the Black Box. You can YouTube them. Phenomenal. It's a like a tool is what I would call it. It kind of gives you these dark pools that these big companies are buying large amounts of shares. So it's going to dictate where the stock's going to go. So that's more you know down the road though. If you're just getting started, I mean, you want to. I just literally I wanted to trade options, and like I said, I was into penny stocks, so I was searching people on Facebook, traders, stuff like that, trading groups and Facebook. So I stumbled across one. I'm not going to mention his name because I don't agree with him. I actually took his course, which is how I got started with options. The guy knows that he's got a solid strategy. I just don't agree with how he does things. So I
Is he
actually,
shady?
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So I'm no longer part of that, but Um, I got a buddy that has a live Discord every morning. I'm in there with him. He calls out. He calls out his trades every morning. I kind of give my 2 cents in there, but he is. Oh Christ, I can't even remember what it is. Let me look it up now. Um, oh boy, Beast Mode Trading.
Beast
Beast
mode
Mode Trading.
trading.
Yeah, my buddy
Shout
Brandon.
out.
He's got a hell of a strategy, and actually, it's a strategy that him and I and another guy worked on. I mean, thousands of hours doing this stuff, man. Seriously, back testing things, putting different indicators on the charts and looking at what they did. You know, um, that's hard to explain because you don't know what an indicator is
Right.
without looking at it. I mean, you got to look at a chart to really. I mean, it makes perfect sense. Like I said, if I got a weekend with you, I could show you how to make money.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But
for sure. I'm gonna make that happen. Uh,
yeah,
but like I said, like being at kindergarten level is probably where me and Tony are at with it.
yeah, yeah.
Do
I've
you recommend like the paper stocks to play around with, or like what I'm doing,
uh,
just throwing $15 at it and playing around and see what happens, or like what's most beneficial?
even if you're somewhat familiar with the stock market and trading in general, I always would recommend doing simulated trades and getting consistent with that because it's all about consistency. Um, if you can get consistent, you can make money, whether that be consistent on a dollar amount or you don't want to really focus so much on the dollar amount, but I like to focus on the percentage.
How long
So
ago did you say you started doing this?
I started doing it like hardcore last year in January. So yeah, I'm approaching 2 years hardcore.
So
So
how would you say overall, have you noticed a shift in the market overall from when you started to now?
as far as like a shift in,
I
it's
guess just overall generic. I think obviously everything's
like the
probably differently, but have you seen a big change in how the stocks are priced and how quickly they're getting dumped? Has there just been an overall feel? Because I know the economy's kind of up and
mhm.
down a little bit, so has that had an impact, I guess, in over the last 2 years that you've been doing it?
We've definitely been in a steady uptrend. Last December we had that. Well, it actually started in like September. We had that little fallout, that little pullback, I would call it, not necessarily, a recession. There's terms of that, a recession, a pullback, and it all comes down to percentages, how much it pulls back, and how that determines if it's in recession or. I mean, there's a lot that goes into that. I don't really pay much attention to it. Literally, I watch the charts and trade the charts. I mean, obviously, if I'm trading a company, I pay attention to what the company's got going on. But literally, a stock trades in a range, and that's if you can find that range, you can make money. I mean, literally, they all trade in a range. So, like right now, I think the Dow is sitting on the 200-day moving average, which is a very strong moving average. So over 200 days, that's the average, is how they determine that. Um, but a lot of traders pay attention to that. So if it gets below that, things could get hairy.
So
But
you guys, one of you mentioned the nasty R word, recession. So
yeah,
if like I've seen it like at first I do a lot of the fake news investigation in my spare time. Like I really like
I
to.
just actually watched that podcast last night.
so
That was great.
But like I'll go and I'll dig into some of this stuff and I'll pay attention of like, okay, who's actually saying this and who's actually predicting this. But like this recession thing, as much as Trump's trying to blow this off and everybody wants to give him credit of he's avoiding the recession, like the patterns show it's possible. Like whether it's going to happen or not, the patterns don't always like
Yeah.
tell the tale. But that's what patterns are there for, is to give you warning signs and to go, oh crap, this is coming. So, what are you hearing? What are the thoughts and I guess the trading community, like is the recession fear real, or is everybody just saying this is fake news?
Most of the people that I associate with and that trade like I trade, they don't care because honestly, we can make money going up or down. So go ahead, go into a recession. We're going to make money. I mean, it's hurtful to the 401k people that don't understand it. It's going to hurt your 401k, but that's why you get into doing this stuff because then you can manage your own 401k. And if you don't, you can literally do the same thing that an investor is doing for you at your computer as long as you know what you're doing, you know, and be in the same exact stocks that they've got your stuff in now.
So
It's
so a recession doesn't scare you in any
no,
way. It just changes your
not at all.
strategy.
Right. You just go from a bull market to a bear market, and you start. It'll go into it'll form um, a a pattern downwards. A bear market versus a bull market. So it'll trade within a range downward versus upward. I guess if that makes sense.
So a bull market is a market that trends upward, and a bear market is one that trends downward. And
Right.
and you try to make your money off predictions of how that trend's going, right?
Right. Yeah. Yep. Even in a bull market, you can still make money on those slight pullbacks because, like I said, they all trade within a range, and if you can figure out the range, you can make money either way. It don't matter. Me personally, on this recession talk, I mean, not right now. It's gonna happen. It has to happen. Historically, it has to happen, but I just don't see it happening before the election. I just don't see it happening.
And that's what I hear a lot too. Is if we're approaching a recession, it's likely going to be around that 2020 to 2022
Yes.
time frame. That's what a lot of expert analysis, like you get outside of CNN, you get outside of Fox, and all the
Yeah.
bullshit. Actual financial advisors are predicting 2020 2022.
Yeah.
But the severity is where I find the biggest disparity in the opinions on there, because some feel that it's either going to be a very harsh recession or a very mild recession, and nobody's really in the middle on that one. I think that's probably what scares me.
Yeah. So, like I said before, it don't matter. I mean, there's levels that um, I mean, stocks trade within ranges. So there's levels that they'll hit, and there'll be massive amounts of buying. So it'll send the stock back up. So for it to get really, really, really bad, I I mean, it'll be, first of all, it never could happen. I mean, I was actually told, well, what happens if or asked, well, what happens if the stock market goes to zero? Um, it's impossible. It cannot. They call them circuit breakers. They basically shut the market down, so it cannot do that. You cannot trade. That's what they do. But I just don't see that ever happening.
Yeah.
That is a
So
very large
I
run.
I got pulled up on the screen just the basics of a bear market, bull market. Brett,
Mhm.
if can you see what I got pulled up there? It's just
Yeah.
it's a real crude image of your basic stock line, and everybody's seen
Mhm.
these lines. Not everybody knows how to read them, but it's pretty obvious. You know, it goes up, it goes down, and that's the value of that potential stock. But this is over a long term period, so it goes from 2000 all the way. I think the last data shows is 2016 and beyond, but that shows you the difference between a bear market and a bull market. So
Right.
how would you draw lines and trends on this?
I can't. So you see the top. Okay, so where it started going up and right after 2008, so 2009 there, where it turned around. You see the top of that green line, the green arrow, the big green arrow.
Yep.
They literally drew the lines for you almost. So that would be like a resistance line they call it. I don't know how you could. I can't
So
obviously
it's
draw it on there, but
so you're talking right here.
nope. Down on this other green, this big green line, the big green arrow.
Oh, at the bottom of the big green arrow, like where it
So
starts down here.
so what you want to do is So what you want to do is you touch these points at the top, and just like the arrow did, going up.
Gotcha. So if we're gonna just draw a line through here, um, so you're paying attention where it quits hitting rock bottom and it starts moving back up. Am I right?
That would be the bottom side. That would be support. They call that support.
Gotcha.
So you could actually start that one
So
and
let's go
see.
to. So if
I
I
already
was
know what I
to,
would do here.
because this is a pretty long term one. This isn't.
Yeah.
So if I was just
Yeah.
going to draw a straight line, where do you want me to start this straight line from?
Um, right there,
At the
and go up.
very tip of the bottom?
No, so see all them bottoms out as it goes up. You see how they come down and then they go up, come down, go up, come down and go up.
Yep.
Touch the big drops. Touch that line to every one of them big drops on the way up to the top there.
So like, say like to here. Like I'm trying
Yep.
to.
Yep, that's right. Keep going. You don't have to literally touch it, but
Oh, so just kind of drawing a
an
complete.
overall average of that. Yep.
So it draws a pretty distinct line.
Right. Okay. Now you'd actually the start of that you'd actually drag it down a little further and you can go back further. But now do the same thing on the top.
Okay. So that's my top
Nope. Go
there.
up. Nope. You'll want to start up higher.
Start at that
See?
one.
Yeah, start at that one there. Yep. Boom, right there. There's your trading range.
Gotcha. So I'm assuming that I'm gonna always hit in between those lines in the future. That's what you're looking at in the bull market, right?
Yep. Yep. So right now, just on this chart, my analysis would be it's a nearing support, so it's time to buy some calls. And with calls, obviously, depending on what you're buying, you want to buy time. With this type, with a regular stock, I usually buy like 4 to 6 weeks of time. So I'll go 4 to 6 weeks out, and then I'll buy when it gets really close to that support line, and I'll buy my calls, and hopefully it turns around. If it doesn't and it falls through that support, if it holds through that support, then I might just cut my losses and be done with it and move on to the next one. But if it turns around and does what I think it's going to do, I'll set a trail stop. I mean, there's all sorts of things you can do, but
Sure.
or I'll just take my profit. But as you can see, this is from 2009 to 2000. Well,
Yeah,
current.
that was my next question was how long do you look at these trends? Because you can look at a stock between a day, a week, 3 months, 6 months, a year. Like,
Right.
what's your best estimate on some of those? Like, is retail different than crypto and like, do you pay attention to the fields of them, or do you just pay attention to a certain time frame typically?
I don't do any crypto, but all like I said, all stocks they trade within a range. So all you got to do is find the range. But typically, a 3 month is pretty good. Um, personally like to go back at least 3 to 4 years and take that trend, and I'll find the trends within the whole chart. Whether it be down or up, and I'll map those on my chart. On a daily chart is what I map those on, and then I typically enter my trades off of a 5 minute chart, because I get you more precise entry. Um, that's basically how I do that. I trade what's called ETFs, which is like that's what I day trade usually is an ETF or a very volatile stock like Apple. Um, Apple's been really volatile. Netflix, stuff like that.
Netflix been
Um,
down quite a bit lately. That's a scary one.
yeah, I'm
Well,
I'm
yeah,
waiting
that's
to
because of Disney and Hulu Live
Disney.
being a thing. Yeah,
You know
Netflix
what's
is going to be way down.
Yeah. I'm actually waiting. I had a buddy buy some calls on it today. Um, I'm not quite there with it, but
I would assume if
I
they're
want.
going down though right now, and they're probably going to be pretty reactive to the Disney
So they,
Plus with the Marvel stuff. I think that they're probably going to be looking at doing something like live, or you
uh
would assume.
they'll come out with something. That
Oh
Disney
yeah.
thing that was wicked. I sold like 2 days before that. I knew I should have held it, but I sold right like 2 days before. But anyway, yeah, Netflix. So they call like stocks like Netflix right now. They say, oh, these stocks are on sale right now. You can buy them on sale because they're cheap, because they're way down. You can buy your calls on sale, is what they call it. So I'm looking for that, but I like to see the stock actually start turning around before I actually buy into it. Um, that goes back to the indicators. I watch the indicators, and when my certain indicators do what I want them to do, then I'll jump into it. But uh, where was I at with that chart? I can't remember where I was at.
But we were shooting up on timelines with it.
Oh yeah, so I usually go like 3 to 4 years. That's what I personally like. Um, what I was showed when I took that course was 3 months, and you can legit do that. That's the faster you can be in and out of a stock, the better, because you just make your money and get the hell out. And don't ever try and catch the peak. So don't ever try and sell at the top. It's
It's
near
impossible,
impossible.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you do, that's like hitting the damn lottery. It's really near impossible doing that. So, but ETFs is what I trade daily, and that's the SPX and the spiders. They call it SPY. Very, very. So they track like that. Them two track the S&P 500. The SPX is like, it's pretty much like trading the S&P 500, but it's tradable, and I trade it on options. So it moves, that so much moves quick. And I trade that on a 5-minute chart. I watch a 15-minute chart. That's why I have all them time frames up, because I look at what they're doing with them specific time frames. But I mean, literally in and out of those stuff. I mean, like I said, I trade from the bell rings at 8:30 our time, and I usually go to work at 9:30, and I'm done by then. I don't always hit my daily goal. That's why I'm not home full time yet. But my daily goal is $200 a day, and there's times I clear that, and there's times I lose way more than that,
Yeah.
But the ultimate goal is to average over a month, several months. I don't want to just do it. Oh, this month I averaged, $250 a day, so I can stay home now. No, that's not how it works. I want to do that consistently over like the course of a year before I actually come home full time and do it.
Gotcha. No, that makes sense. I guess, Brett, I'm gonna give you some. I'm gonna give you some kudos real quick, man, because I don't think I ever imagined me and you sitting down, or even with Tony. We just talked an hour about stocks.
And we didn't even, scratch the surface, really.
Right. But there was a ton of info there. But like, seriously, like you look at the three of us 10 years ago, backyard wrestling, drinking beer, and
That was
being
a few more
crazy.
than 10 years ago, bro.
Maybe, yeah. It was probably 20 years. Either way, like, I don't think any of us imagined we'd be sitting here podcasting about stocks.
Right. I'll tell you, Darren Fessler's a big Lakefront Futures.
Oh,
Um,
Fessler. I haven't heard
yeah,
his name in so many years.
he runs his. I think he's with a brokerage, Lakefront Futures, and he runs it out of his house. So he trades for farmers. He trades commodities, and he also trades options. But he trades with lots of money, but he's very, very good at what he does. So if you're interested in commodities and want somebody knowledgeable to trade your commodities for you, Lakefront Futures, Darren Fessler. He's out of Lincoln, Nebraska. He is legit.
Shout out.
So,
Shout out to Darren
yeah,
Fessler.
you bet. So yeah,
Well,
I mean, if sometime you want to get together on a weekend, and you know, I'm willing to show you whatever I know, man.
hell yeah, brother. I'm down because man, I'm up $3 on my 15, so like I'm hooked. I love
Yeah,
free money. I sat on
it's
my ass
crazy.
all well. I didn't sit on my ass all week. I worked my ass off. But if I can get
Yeah,
an extra $3 on doing nothing, I'm gonna do it, yo.
right. Yeah.
Tony, what other questions or thoughts you got around this before we move on to our next topic?
I guess if you had like not one type of stock. I mean, we talked a little bit about streaming and some retail stuff, but if there was one kind of under the radar type stock that people could maybe buy up cheap to see a high upside potentially if they take off, what would it be?
Buying the actual stock.
Yeah.
Um, I I really like AMD. I really like it, and that one trades. Let me look, because I'm not 100% sure. Because like I said, I don't trade the actual stock. I trade the option. It trades at $30.20 a share right now. That thing is just, it's boosted. I mean, it's just phenomenal. In my opinion, it's a phenomenal company. I don't know a lot about the company because I don't really research the companies a lot. Um, I just know that they make chips for like microchips.
Yeah,
So
I was just gonna ask you, potato chips?
Yeah, they make
No.
microchips for, I believe, everything. So think about what has microchips in it these days. About
Everything.
everything. Honestly, about everything.
Including us, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
Hey,
they're trying to get there, aren't they?
Yeah.
this is not a conspiracy podcast, Tony.
Oh,
Calm
And
down.
all right. My bad.
the other one that I personally am waiting for it to get back down to that 0.0001 is RMRK. That is the one that
You want to make that $200 a day again,
yeah.
don't you?
Um, that stock, that's what got me, I mean, hardcore hooked on this stuff because I saw $200 turn into 1,700, and it should have been about 11,000. So I'm waiting for it. I actually had an order in for a million shares or 2 million shares at 0.02. It didn't get filled though. So
What's that one?
yeah,
RMRK.
Rimrock. They are actually getting into the cannabis.
It's like car
I was
ramrod.
Yeah.
just gonna say that. Damn you! You freaking beat me to it. I got my tinfoil hat.
RMRK.
Now I'm good for the conspiracy now. If you want to
Yeah.
spin that.
Nice.
So that's this sucks because I'm looking on Robinhood here, and apparently they're limited on stocks. They don't have
Yep.
everything available on here. So
Right. They don't. Yeah. You probably can't trade them on Robinhood. But you need to open a TD Ameritrade account.
all right, I'm sold. I'm gonna do it.
Yeah. But this one, I mean, stocks like this, it's okay. I'm going to throw 100 or $200 in it, and if it takes a year to make me $1,000, okay, you know.
Hey,
But it's just,
that's still like 100, $200. And like I do the I started with the Stash app like 6 years or not even 6 months ago. It wasn't 6 years.
mhm.
It was like 6, 7 months ago, and I just started putting $5 into the Stash app every pay period. And,
Oh yeah, sure.
and I forgot about it. I completely forgot that I was giving $5 to some random stock. I don't even remember. I think it was and it'll be a good segue into our next topic. But it was into marijuana production and CBD production, and like I looked at it like a week or two ago, and I was like, dude, I got $400 invested in this damn thing.
That is awesome.
So
That's
like
awesome.
I would rather pull that $400 and throw it into something like the
Right.
RMRK
Right. Yep.
and turn it into $1,000 in a year a hell of a
Yeah.
lot faster, and I don't have to put $5 in it every week.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. You just let it sit, and the cool thing about it is, if buying the straight stock, you can go down to zero, and that don't mean nothing. You know, you're at zero. You lost your $200. Well, you haven't lost anything until you sold it. So you're still invested. You're still in that stock. You're just down 200. You haven't lost nothing. So you can hold that thing for a lifetime. You know what I mean? And if it goes up, it goes up. If it doesn't, it doesn't. You lost $200. You know, but you only lose it when you die. But then even then, like my accounts, you know, my wife is the beneficiary on them, so she gets my trading account when I die. So, and then so on and so forth, and it goes into my will and all that. But that's the advantage to buying straight stock is you can hold it forever and the value stays the same.
So if
Where,
I'm looking at RMRK, there's not a real good pattern here to where
right.
every now and then. So like right now it's like 0.00. There's
Zero.
nothing.
It's actually trading at 0.0002.
So
Now
now
it's
if you had $300 to just say what the fuck ever,
mhm.
now would be the time to just throw it in there because it has the
Yep.
potential of what, bringing you a 10-time return on that one potentially.
If not more, yeah, yeah. I mean, it could take a while. Like, see back here in March, it got up to .0017. That's a hell of a return. It don't sound like it, but that's a hell of a return because you're in at .0002. You just pumped up .0015 cents on that thing or whatever it is. I think it's like a tenth of a cent or something. But I can do the math if I had my calculator.
No, I get you. Like I see the potential in the big returns. I think the part is being patient.
Yeah. Yeah. With that, actually with trading, I mean, you have to be patient. You have to, unless you trade like the ETFs in the morning, you get in and out. I mean, my buddy Brandon in his Discord, I mean, he plays SPY. He trades it live. You can jump in there. He's kind of testing the waters, but he's going to charge a fee. But you can literally follow along with him when he says, "Okay, I'm in SPY puts or SPY calls," and 10 seconds later he might say, "Okay, I'm out. I'm done," and take a couple $100.
Yeah, I think a lot of folks have the fantasy of Wolf of Wall Street or hearing
Yeah,
the big stories of some jackass that threw a few $100 into Yahoo or Google or Amazon way back in the day and made millions and millions of dollars, and then they look at a day trader and they're thinking, oh, every 5 minutes there's a stock that you can make $1,000 on with just $100. That's probably not the reality unless you're super freaking lucky.
right.
You have to put in the time and the patience and pay attention. But then, like I said, you got to be patient. You got to watch it and let it grow. And then no, you said it best the other day on Facebook. No one fold them.
Yeah, yeah. Know when to fold them. That's exactly right. Um, that's I've had that issue in the past where I let greed get a hold of me. I would be up, 20% or 30% on my contract on the amount that I'm in the trade for, and I'll say, God, I'd really like to see 40 or 50%. Well, then I end up losing 20 or 30% in the red. You know what I mean? So you got to know when to hold them and when to fold them. I mean, you really do, and that goes back to technical analysis, knowing the stocks you trade. I don't like to veer out of, I trade a certain amount of stocks and that's about all, unless there's something real hot. I got scanners that pop up and give me no inside bars. Like I said, I'll show you all that stuff. But yeah, it's mainly, I mean, you got to be patient. That's really the benefit to buying an RMRK though. I mean, it's damn near as low as it can go. I mean, really it is. So the only thing it really can do is go up. And if you look over historically, it will go up. You just don't know when it's going to go up. So, and they are getting into the cannabis. I did
Oh,
read that stuff.
boom! It'll go up more than
Yes.
into the cannabis.
Yeah. So
The
that
devil's
will
reefer?
be, yeah, yeah,
Goddamn reefer.
the stuff that everybody's so scared to touch in Nebraska. I was, including myself, until I said, you know what, hell with it. I know the benefits. I've seen what it's done for people. And Mr. Joe Rogan himself, I watch his podcast.
Yeah,
You know,
shout out again.
yeah, I watch his podcast pretty religiously. So, and the Action Junkies, that's another call out, man. John Orlando,
Oh, I've watched a few of those. I haven't watched a lot, but man, the ones I did
yeah,
watch were good.
he's good. He's good shit. I I know him. I've actually sent him money to trade horses, bet horses for me up in Vegas. So, and fights.
Did you
So,
ever watch the Joe Rogan with Jake the Snake Roberts?
Oh,
oh yeah,
yeah.
oh yes, yeah.
That was
I mean,
fucking incredible.
people, back when I first started watching UFC, it was like, God, it's Joe Rogan. Just shut up,
Yeah.
because his voice was annoying.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
once I started watching his podcast, dude, that fucker is intelligent. He
Oh,
Yeah.
is
yeah,
very, very
he's smart.
intelligent. But yeah, so I started watching that. I mean, that's really what leaned me towards it, really. And then seeing, I did my own research, obviously, as far as the benefits. And, you see some of them videos where the one that stands out to me the most is where the lady has Parkinson's, and she puts like the butter on her waffle or her bagel, and she eats it, and like 15, 20 minutes later, she can write her name or whatever it was, So that was like, I'm like, holy crap, that is insane what that shit is doing for people.
Yeah,
So
it's pretty amazing considering where we are now and what's how many states are we at now? What's the count at? Where are we at?
oh my gosh, there's for
So
medically,
is this states, yeah, medical marijuana, CBD, or full legalization?
Yeah, maybe
yeah,
just pull up an actual chart on that because it's hard, it's been hard to keep track. But yeah,
yeah,
like
it
you said,
really has.
sitting here in Nebraska and then being kind of surrounded by to the west in Colorado, marijuana, and then to our east in Iowa, the
Iowa.
gambling. We, we're kind of slam dunk right in the middle of two massive tax write-offs that we are not taking advantage of.
And actually, Iowa has it medically legal now too.
Iowa does. Well, there you go.
Yeah, yeah, I know for sure they do.
So I do have an image here, and this is from 2018. So this does not show Iowa because it is a year behind. This is the most up to date I can find. But you're right, Tony. And this is honestly, it's a little annoying. When you
Why is it all green? Like we get it, but come on,
well,
The dark green is recreational. Yeah,
man. My
I
uncle's colorblind. There's no way he'd be able to see this.
so
look at that.
my issue with some of this. If I'm selling in South Dakota, you can sell CBD to pets,
Uh huh.
but you can't sell it to a human. So you'll
Oh,
see
really?
them. You'll see them at like the local county fairs with this big huge tent with marijuana leaves all over it, and it's like CBD, and there'll be a paw print, and you're like, oh yeah, fucking right. Like you know
Yeah.
what they're doing, but honestly, like South Dakota is so fucking strict with it. It's crazy. Like this lady flew in from Canada with a little bottle of CBD.
Mhm.
They arrested her on the spot,
Oh wow.
getting off the plane.
Wow. They actually shut down a shop in North Platte and took all their stuff. But
I remember hearing that.
For
yeah,
something completely harmless.
right.
There's nothing psychoactive. There's nothing that's gonna harm you in any way, shape, or form. And all the evidence shows all it does is help. Why is this still a fucking problem?
You just
This one
explained.
pisses me off.
You just explained why. Inadvertently, you just explained why. The reason it's still not being widely accepted by all 50 states nationwide is because there are no harmful chemicals in it, and all it does is help. That's what has big pharmaceuticals terrified of it because
Big
they're going to
pharma, you
lose.
bet.
Oh, they're going to lose billions off of the benefits of this because it's a highly cheap alternative to ridiculously expensive procedures and treatments and medicine. So yeah, of
Yes.
course they're terrified of it. That's why it's not nationwide accepted yet.
Yeah. If Big Pharma would just get on board with it, I mean, they can have their money too.
Oh yeah,
They
there's
can make
plenty of pieces of the cake to be had, and they're
yeah.
missing out right now.
The biggest problem, the reason why I think it's so widely not accepted, especially in rural Nebraska or rural Kansas or rural South Dakota, is because it's been illegal for so long. It's been classified as a drug for so long, that people are just, it's a drug. You shouldn't do it. Well, so is booze, you know. Booze is a drug, and it does nothing good for you except it's fun.
Yeah, if you look at that map again, like you can see straight up and down Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska, South Dakota. There's obviously still
It's
a
the Bible
very,
Belt, man,
yeah,
and
it's the
like
Bible Belt. It's a huge stigma. Like
Right.
nobody's looking at the benefits of it. They're just going, oh, well, that's associated with that Mary Jane. We don't want none of that around here.
Yeah, exactly right.
So, and not only that, it's so where did meth start in the Midwest? Like, we have a lot of
Like, are you asking for an actual location? Because we
well,
probably saw it.
it's probably Fairmont, but
I was gonna say.
but I'm just saying that we have discipline problems with some folks in this country, honestly, and and I'm not saying CBD you have to be disciplined with, but it goes back to the pot. Like they're so interconnected, and I think that's what the real stigma and the fight against it is because technically it's marijuana. Well, yeah, but it's non-psychoactive. But it's marijuana. It comes from the same plant. Okay, well, calm down, Grandma. Like, let's talk about how we do it.
As she chews on her Oxycontin.
Yeah,
Exactly. And then
Exactly.
and then her grandkid is stealing her Oxycontin, grabbing a fucking gun and walking into a goddamn Walmart and shooting people. So
Yeah. There
Like,
you go. There you
you know,
have it.
Exactly that.
maybe if you gave him a fucking joint, he would have just chilled out, ate some Cheetos, and played some Call of
I was
Duty and called it
just
a
thinking
day.
that exact thing. Like the
Yeah,
CBD oil could go so far to helping with the mental health issues that have such a big impact on the gun control
massive,
issues. Yeah,
I think
it's
massive.
huge help.
I think this goes deeper though, because I think what it's eventually going to lead to, and this is going to happen someday, and we are already seeing it, is the full legalization and decriminalization of marijuana. And
Oh
if
yeah.
you legalize CBD countrywide, it just that's the gateway drug to getting the gateway drug legal, like,
Yeah.
and so. It opens the doorway for it, but here's the real problem, and honestly, I've thought about this. If I were a lawmaker and I was a congressman or a senator, and I had to think about this, and I was representing the people of Nebraska or South Dakota or any of these Bible Belt states, my constituents vote me in to protect their interests. They don't want this, whether they're educated or not. That's not their fault necessarily. I could help educate them and try to, get them on my thinking. But at the end of the day, I want to represent my people, not necessarily
Well,
how
you
I.
want to get reelected or elected, and that's exactly the
Exactly. That's
big
why you got to
problem of
represent your.
politics.
That's how you got to represent your folks, yo.
Yeah,
But
it's
Yeah.
pandering. It's
it
absolute pandering.
it sure is. But here's the deal. Not only that is you're taking some of those deals, but then I'm thinking on the legal side. What do you do with everybody that's been jailed, criminalized, given felony charges? Like you,
Let them the fuck go.
yeah, you do,
It's
but how do you give that back? So
You can't give it back to the. I would say at least having it decriminalized and getting them the hell out of there. I
It is.
understand you're not getting reparations for it, but at least you're getting the F out.
I
so what do
thought
you,
they did decriminalize it, didn't they?
yeah, they recently did, but that didn't solve the issue that you have
Right.
with, say, somebody who got caught with 5 pounds of pot in the trunk of their car, transporting it for somebody
Yeah,
else.
yeah,
Had
yeah.
nothing to do with the situation, did not harm anybody, did nothing at all other than travel with the merchandise. Now I get it. Some people could have got killed before or after that transportation piece, but some innocent dude that was just trying to make an extra 20 grand driving across the country gets busted on the interstate in Nebraska, gets a felony charge, and his life is ruined. Over
So-
Right.
over a drug that really, like, if it wasn't illegal, it wouldn't kill anybody. But because
Right.
it's illegal, it kills people.
I think it mostly boils down to when he was transporting it, it was illegal and it was still
And that's
ranked in that class. So
That's
you do
exactly
have,
the problem, though. Like,
Yeah, but you do have the problems that go with the transportation of it and the illegal sale of an illegal substance. So it's the criminal act of doing it plus the criminal activity that goes along with it, the people that they deal with, and the violence that goes. So I get why.
but
you
that's
can't
that's
just
why they're
let 'em
afraid to
loose.
decriminalize this stuff.
Right.
Because
I-
what do you
I
do
agree.
with them? What do you do with them? Like, if I were a lawmaker and somebody asked me that question, I'd be like, fuck, I don't know.
No, nobody has
Yeah.
an answer. That's the problem. It's a transitional thing, and
I mean, it kind of have to be like what's in the past is in the past. Hey, you
they
did
don't
this.
like
when
doing
you-
that with laws.
I know,
Yeah.
but I mean, I don't know
You're gonna
how.
get Antifa in Nebraska with that shit.
Oh,
Well,
shit.
how did it? Yeah, how did every other state do it? You know, how did? I mean,
They
they
all
have.
got high and just sang
Yeah,
Kumbaya and they've moved on.
but are there still people incarcerated that
I
are
want to say there
incarcerated on?
are, like, I'm trying to think back when Colorado did it. I thought that that was the big uproar was people are still incarcerated because of it, and now it's decriminalized. So yeah, I want to say there's still kind of a big gray area. Like even the ones that first legalized it still aren't sure what to do with these people.
Yeah, it's it.
it's it's not a spot I would want to be in.
Oh
Right.
God, no.
I
But
mean, you're
damn it,
gonna
I would love to be able to know that I could just light up a joint, and not have anything to worry about.
right.
Just
Yeah, I
that's why
mean,
you want to light up a joint, is so you don't have to
yeah.
worry about shit.
Well, I mean, you think of it like people that want to pop open a beer after work. That's how I mean, I know they're two different, totally different. Right, they're two totally different things,
Yeah, it's
but
the same
they,
idea in concept as
they
having a cigarette. You're doing it
right,
to unwind. You're doing it to relax after a day of work.
exactly.
Yeah, agreed.
So,
If I couldn't have a quick smoke or a glass of whiskey before bed, dude, like I would never sleep. I've tried it.
right,
It doesn't work. I don't sleep. I have to like I have a mental like I my brain just doesn't stop running until
Yeah,
I
yeah,
like
yeah.
give it something to slow the fuck down.
No, I get that because when we went to Edinburgh, we stayed there till like 8 in the morning. We left, and we actually had the option to stay there and sleep, and we did for like 3.5 hours. And I'm like, every time I've tried to do this, I can't do it. Like I do not let people drink during an investigation, but I took a little thing of Jack Daniels with me. I had a little snort before I went and took a nap, just so my mind could decompress and at least try to get to sleep because otherwise it takes me like an hour and a half to go to sleep, and then that's just how I'm wired, and I'm a light sleeper anyway, so everything wakes me up, especially in a setting like that. So I'm like, I need a little extra help here. I get that though, but yeah, it's a chemical. I don't want to call it just a chemical dependence, but because yeah, it's how your mind normally operates.
It's a
right,
mild sedative.
There you go.
yeah. And honestly, I've taken this CBD that I'm taking. I've taken it for I think 3 weeks. No, I'm almost a month now. Yeah, I'm almost a month, and it does absolutely nothing mentally to me at all. But what I have noticed is my energy levels went up. I sleep clear through the night. I was waking up at 3, 4 in the morning every night, and then I can't get back to sleep. So I pop on a podcast, watch a podcast, and fall asleep. This stuff, once I'm out, I'm out, and I wake up. I'm I feel refreshed. I take some in the morning, good to go through my day, and it helps with. I had my back surgery 4 years ago, so I got a bad back. Supposed to be having shots in my neck, so and possibly surgery there, which
That
I'm trying
that
to prevent.
sounds that sounds fucking fun, man.
Yeah, so I'm
Yeah.
trying to prevent that, and this stuff it's helping a lot with the pain, and it
So
doesn't do anything.
as a procurer of supplies, eh, like what's your stash look like, bro? No. Like what do you recommend? Because like there's different. I've seen topical creams. I've seen. I personally I have drops
Huh?
that I typically take, and I just do the
Yep,
under the tongue for like 90 seconds.
yep.
I've done those before. I've never done the topical creams, but I've heard wonderful things about all the other applications. The only thing I've ever done is the oil drops. I tried vaping it. I hate vaping, and I just do you vape, bro? And, like I can't do that shit.
Right. Yeah, I'm actually gonna be my order's gonna be going out on the first, so I'm gonna get my dog back there some doggy treats because he's wild, and I want to try it. And I got a buddy that his dog uses them and just freaking calms him down. But there's creams, there's oils, there's um, what else? Coffee. It's in coffee. I haven't tried the
Yeah, I've
coffee.
heard like I know Caveman Coffee has a CBD one, like, and they have like a green tea one, and different ones. I
Yeah.
heard those are good.
I want to try them. It's pretty pricey, but I still want to try it. But so I just do the oil like you, and then I use the cream too. I just rub it on my neck like 3 times. I usually do it in the morning, then I'll do it over my lunch break if I come home, and then at night.
So do you feel effects of it like immediately or like I've never used lotions or creams of CBD, so I got aches and pains everywhere, man. Like
Right.
I'm getting to be on the wrong
It does.
side.
Have you
Wrong
ever?
side.
Well, you've used like Ben Gay and stuff like that. I
Oh yeah,
mean,
for sure.
so it doesn't give you like the tingly feeling, like the cool feeling. But it does work. It works instantly, and it wears off just like it. But there's more benefits to this, I think, that it soaks it through the skin and gets to the muscle. And my muscles, man, my muscles have been so. I go to the chiropractor like once a month, um, and I was trying to go to the massage therapist like once a month, but my muscles really haven't been. It's just now it's really the bone that hurts like hell. But
So now you're getting to the root of the problem.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
So that's what they want to do these injections for. They want to figure out exactly which vertebrae it is that's causing the problems. But as far as the muscles, holy mackerel. I mean, and my energy level too. Like I used to get off work and like all I want to do was sit down and mess around on my computer, or I didn't really want to do anything. So I started taking this stuff and like I'm ready to go when I get off work. It don't matter. So
Yeah. That's one thing I noticed with the oil. The first time I ever bought oil, I bought like I bought the cheaper one because I'm an
I
asshole
did
like that.
also.
And
Yep.
it was like 250 milligram, but it was like to get an actual real dose, like I had to drink almost a half a bottle to like
Yeah.
get an
Yeah.
actual dose because I'm a 200-pound guy, like,
Right.
and for me to have any effects of it. But then it also, like, one day of taking a dose doesn't necessarily give you the full benefit of it. And after I
Right.
read into it, it was like you need to take it every day, sometimes 2 times a day, depending on your size and your weight, and what you're going for. Like it, I don't bitch about my life very often, but I have a really high stress job.
Hmm.
I am like pulling my hair out every day, and that's the only reason I do this. It gives me a distraction. But like
Right.
I need something like that to like cool me off and calm me down. And then that's when I bought the higher milligram dosage of it, and I started taking it 2 to 3 times a day. And my focus, like my body felt good, my body felt loose. Like it wasn't like I didn't feel a ton of that, but like I did feel more relaxed and my shoulders weren't tense and I could sleep a
Right.
little bit better. But the thing I noticed the most was like mental clarity and my sharpness. Like
Right.
everybody accredits pot and marijuana and anything to do with it to slow you down and make you dumb, but man, it made me quick, it makes me smart, and I
Well,
am
if you're
on the
doing
ball.
7 or 8 water bong, gravity bong rips, I
You're
can
Joe
Sure.
see.
Rogan in that shit. Or
Yeah.
Joey Diaz, man, he
Oh,
boy,
Joey Diaz with his 500
Jesus.
milligram brownies. Jesus.
That guy. Wow, he's something else.
You ever
But yeah,
watch Joey Diaz like or make his producer eat his brownies?
oh yeah,
He gets
yeah.
his producer so trashed. That
Did you
poor
watch
guy.
did you watch the what is his podcast called?
Oh, it's
What's
I don't
happening
know,
this week or I can't remember. But he
something like
had
that.
Jake Ellenberger on there,
Oh no
and
shit. Hell yeah.
he took
Shout out Jake
one.
Ellenberger. Right on.
Yeah, who's retired from the UFC now. But and I actually got to sit front row at that fight for his retirement. That was amazing.
Nice,
Thanks
nice.
to, thanks to John Orlando with Action Junkies. Um, but he Jake took like one rip off a bong, I guess. And like, if you watch the podcast, oh man, it is hilarious. Jake's like in another fucking planet. He is
Yeah.
just not even there. Oh, I was
I bet
rolling.
Joey Diaz got some good shit.
Oh, I suppose, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Which I mean, that's the that's the problem is people think about it like that. They just think, oh, people just want to get
Yeah.
high.
right,
You know,
right.
I
No,
discussed with somebody, I won't mention his name, but he said that it's just helping the stoners get their weed. And I said, no, they're going to get their goddamn weed if they
yeah,
want it. You know,
they're gonna get it.
it's going to benefit the people that can use it for the proper reasons. You know,
Yep,
it's kind of like taking gun rights from people. You take the gun rights away, and you're only taking them from the people that use them for the right reasons.
yep, exactly.
Very similar. So,
We're gonna start getting into geopolitics pretty soon. We keep this up.
yeah,
No, no, like, and I like where you went with this because it brought up the stigmatism around it again. Like we talked, people, expect a Joey Diaz podcast and them ripping on a bong, but like honestly, like the CBD oil, taking it 2-3 times a day, like I see the benefits of it, but I can't buy it here unless I buy it from somebody who's selling it for your dog. And I honestly don't trust the people that are telling me to buy it from them to give it to a dog.
yeah,
So that's disheartening. And then at the same time, like you have to worry about the legal ramifications if you get caught with it. I'm in and out of airports all the
right,
time, and I'm like, shit, man. I forget stuff in my pockets all the time. Like,
Well, you've got
yeah,
to keep a dinger on your phone to tell you if you're in a flyover state that it's not legal. You're gonna have to flush it down the damn toilet on a
right,
fucking
yeah,
airplane.
yeah,
something. But it's silly that we have to even think about it that way. But
right,
and then you brought up the one video that you said that I've seen other ones where kid having a seizure and they put a little bit on the tongue and all of a sudden seizures go away. Like
yep,
there's dozens of those. One of my wife's friends has. She's got some real debilitating diseases that like really cause her a lot of pain and anguish,
mhm,
and the only way she can get through the day is by using this stuff, and she
yep,
can't tell anybody about it. She can't talk about it because
right,
it's not legal. So she has to
right,
go somewhere else to get it. But like that's the only thing that works. Doctors can't give
right.
her anything that works. That's the only thing. So it's like this is so
Well, they
stupid.
probably could, but it's going to make her a fucking zombie. You know,
Right, right. And then she
she ain't
won't be
going to
able
be
to
able to
work.
work. Exactly.
And she'll
Yeah.
diminish faster, and she won't be able to spend time with family or kids. But with
Right.
CBD, she can. She can
Right.
mentally function.
Yeah. That's another huge point I had. Is you legalize it, and okay, there's going to be people abuse it. That's with anything.
Oh,
But
for
think of the amount of
sure.
people that can't physically work right now or mentally work right now. That if they had CBD or even THC in their life, they may be able to get up off the couch and go work and go work a full time job and go do things with their family and socialize and stuff. But now they can't. Right now they can't because they're either in too much pain and laying on their couch, or they're sedated with the drugs that they're getting from the doctor. Or
Yeah.
you know you you get them on some CBD oil, maybe they can go back to work and get off of welfare. You know.
Yeah, I like you guys are talking about like the benefits, like the clarity and giving you some energy, and like obviously you taking it for a back pain, and I would gladly trade several visits to the chiropractor because my back is just so tight. I'd just
Yep.
like to be loosened up, and if it can do something like that without having to go get jacked up and bent sideways, plus I have energy when I get home to play with my kids. Yeah, just come on. Why in the blue hell are we not funding this? Why isn't it legal? Like we obviously it's the big pharma thing and it's the
Yep.
stigmatism, but people just need to get over that, do their own research, and
Hmm.
it's just acknowledge actual benefits of medical stuff that are coming from something natural as opposed to yeah, the crushed up white pill that includes God knows what. Like the over the counter stuff stronger than stuff you can buy on the street half the time. Like
Yep.
that's where we're
Yep.
at with medicine.
Yep. I actually seen. I wish I could find the article, but I didn't read it because I was busy and couldn't find it because Facebook likes to automatically update your shit now. If you have an article open and you close your app out on your phone, it used to be it would stay open at that article. Nah, it takes you right back to your news feed and it automatically updates. But there was an article that said that something about it. A guy was his pancreatic cancer or something had gone away after using cannabis. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I'm pretty sure it was something with pancreatic cancer.
That would
So
be amazing if they could
Oh
link that
yeah,
and prove that.
Jesus.
yeah, I mean I can't remember what college it was, but they've done a ton. Maybe it was up there, Penn State maybe, did a bunch of research, cannabis research. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I should have probably done a little more research, I guess. But Nebraska's legalized hemp farming.
We'll take it.
So what's
It's a
that
start.
include? Like what can you do with hemp farming? Like so
Uh,
you can do hemp fibers, but
yeah, that's
It's
the way
mostly
I.
getting prepared for the legalization. That way,
That's
people are already on board, on the ball. Stuff's being grown. That way, there's an actual inventory when it becomes legal.
yeah. So is it going to be? I've kind of talked with a few people and read a few articles. I think it's going to be like kind of like Pioneer. You know how Pioneer does their seed research? There's only so many fields that are going to be planted with this stuff, and there's a what's the place here in town? This ag company that builds ag equipment. They're actually building a combine for hemp fields, but it's for this company in Oregon. It was just in the newspaper a few weeks ago. But they're building a combine head. That's going to be wild. But I just see it. I mean, it's going to get legalized everywhere. It's going to be federally legal soon. I
Oh
believe
yeah.
by I would say 2022-ish, 23-ish. It's going to be federally legal.
so
Let's
I've
hope
been
so.
calling this since the 2016 election. If Trump gets into trouble and he needs to get reelected and he needs to get some of them swing voters,
Oh yeah.
he's already been putting pedophiles away. We have already seen what happened with Epstein, and we're gonna see indictments come rolling out from that whole damn thing.
Yep.
If he's still not winning after that, all he's got to do is be like, you know what? The Democrats, their best argument is they want to legalize pot. Guess what? Boom, done. Like
Yeah.
he'll just
Done.
sign that shit and be like, that takes away half their argument and half their voters,
Right.
and
Yep.
then all of a sudden everybody's like, well, shit, Trump's not so bad.
Yeah.
It would
Yeah.
piss off the Republicans, but goddamn it, he
Oh,
would
yeah.
win.
Yeah, he would. Right. He's actually upset a few farmers that I've personally talked to, but I still think the guy wins. Maybe not by a lot, but I see a China trade deal having to happen soon to
Yeah, it sounded
prevent
like
the
today,
recession.
China said they're coming back to the table today.
Yeah, his phone calls, I don't know whether to believe they actually happened or not. I don't know, but
I don't
it
know.
sure made the needle move. But that's about the only main news I pay attention to is Trump. Because anytime that guy talks, the market moves.
Yeah, Jesus.
It's crazy. But yeah,
He
I do
talks
see.
a lot though, man. Like you got
Yeah,
to be a busy guy.
yeah. Anything with I mean, I pay attention to the Fed too. Obviously, if they're the interest rates and stuff. But if if Trump says anything about China, man, the market moves. I mean, it swings big. It was up, I think, like right at 200 points today. The Dow Jones was, and I think it closed down 100 points. The biggest swing I've ever seen it make was like 1,200 points in a day. It was like 700 points positive, and then it went negative 700 points. So all due to what Trump, something Trump said, I'm sure. But yeah, it's pretty crazy shit.
So who was the guy? Like I've heard this on Rogan's podcast since you brought it up,
Uh-huh.
and we're talking about cannabis and weed. Who was the guy he talks about? And like he just hates this guy. I've heard the story. I watched part of the documentary about the dude that like he was like in the paper milling industry, and cannabis was starting to take over and was going to be this new like crazy material that was going to take over, and you wouldn't have to cut down trees anymore because you could just grow cannabis and it would make a stronger paper and a stronger fiber and a stronger this and a stronger that.
Yeah.
And this dude created the and it was Mexican tobacco was actually what marijuana originally was. And this guy said that Mexicans are smoking marijuana and raping white women. And so that eventually led to the FBI and everybody having this crazy rage. And that's why marijuana actually became illegal. And it was all fake news.
Really?
You never heard that?
I never heard that. I wonder. I'm gonna have to find that one.
I'm
That
trying to.
He was on Joe's podcast.
Was it William Randall Hearst? Tony,
That sounds right. Yep, that'd be right.
let me look that up. So I believe it. And William Randall Hearst is the guy was a piece of shit. He did a lot of bad things and pissed a lot of people off in his day. Very powerful guy and got away with a lot of shit. But man, like there's things going on in this country today that this guy fucked things up, and we're still paying for him. Isn't he the one that had like? Maybe I'm getting this wrong, but didn't he have the ranch in like Texas with wild hogs, and then they all got loose, and now Texas is rampant with wild hogs, and that's why Ted Nugent's in a fucking helicopter shooting them with a fucking gun.
I want to do
Other
that.
than the reason it sounds like a blast.
Yeah, $1,000 you can go for an hour. All the ammunition. I mean, everything's supplied. I really want to do it.
Man,
That would be
people-
amazing.
I could be wrong, but I think it's because of this fucking William Randall
And
Hearst
people
guy.
wonder why people scream for gun control laws. There's a fucking option to go shoot hogs out of a helicopter with a machine gun. Or,
Yeah.
Thank you, Ted Nugent.
oh my god.
I'm trying to find. I don't. William Randall or Randolph?
Randolph Hearst. So I got several
I see it.
stories here. I'm just trying to find a good one that actually talks about
Honestly,
it.
Phil could probably chime in on this very, very in depth. I think he's pretty familiar with this.
I've heard the story several times. I got one pulled up here. So he made a propaganda film, captured the essence of anti-marijuana campaign. And this was actually started with Harry Aslinger in partnership together, which I believe he was the FBI director. I could either FBI or CIA. Either way, they demonized marijuana as a dangerous drug, playing on the racist attitudes of white Americans in the early 20th century, stoking fears of marijuana as an assassin of youth, in quotations, is what they would call it. But it was a smear campaign. It really was. Oh my God, I got a 1936 ad. Should we play this bitch?
Yeah.
I think we should play this bitch. Let me get this shared up on my screen here and make sure I get. Well, nope, wrong share method. Sorry, folks.
Oh, Reefer Madness. Yep. There you
yeah,
go.
yeah. Sorry, folks,
Classic.
for those of you watching on YouTube if I don't get this edited correctly. I gotta make
I was
sure I
really
get
just hoping that was going to be like a Pornhub window you accidentally popped up.
right. Okay, here we go. Reefer Madness, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
These high school boys and girls are having a hop at the local soda fountain. Innocently, they dance. Innocent of a new and deadly menace lurking behind closed doors. Marijuana, the burning weed with its roots in hell. In this film, you will see the ease with which this vicious plant can be grown in your neighbor's yard, rolled into harmless-looking cigarettes, hidden in an innocent shoe or watch case.
If you want a good smoke, try one of these.
You will meet Bill, who once took pride in his strong will as he takes the first step toward enslavement.
Oh, he kissed a girl.
Oh man.
What would this commercial look like today?
Oh wow.
It'd be so terrible.
Find a moment's
That shit
pleasure,
would be
but
naked.
at a terrible price. Divorce,
And it would be a meth commercial, wouldn't it?
murder,
I'm sure it would offend somebody.
I'm trying to be as PC as possible. So there's a bunch of comments I want to make right now, and I'm going to restrain.
I think we get the point here.
Yeah. Well,
This is fucking ridiculous.
Wow. Wow, that was great.
Yeah, that's brought on by William Randolph Hearst, and Oh, the leaders of our judicial system at the time and persuading Americans to not go after marijuana. But the truth behind it is William Randolph Hearst had investments in other companies that marijuana and
Yeah.
the 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 crop itself could produce hemp, and hemp made a stronger rope. They made better paper. They made
Yep.
better clothing. They made better cloth. And they created a machine that you could actually produce the fiber faster, better, and stronger. And as soon as that came out, that's when this campaign hit hard, and they put marijuana to bed. And that's all this was.
Oh, wow.
That's what this all was. And marijuana itself was tobacco from Mexico. It wasn't even what we think of marijuana today. That's what it really meant back then, was like a marijuana was a Mexican tobacco plant.
No, that's
And
100% right.
it had
It
no
just
THC.
jeopardized big business that several powerful people had vested interest in. So, yeah, smear
So
campaign after smear campaign and illegal.
the whole thing's a fucking scam.
Yeah, and here we are in 2019 trying to convince lawmakers to make it legal for medical benefit, and we can't do it. That's how big this went.
That's crazy. I'm gonna have to do some more research on that because that, you could go down a freaking foxhole on that on YouTube. You know,
Oh,
you watch one video and then boom, another one,
there's
another one.
there's a bunch, dude. And Joe Rogan's probably the loudest on that one. Like
Yeah.
he goes deep into it, and he's like, that fucking piece, and like he gets fucking mad.
See if you can't find that podcast because I'd like to watch. I must have missed that one.
Oh, he talks
there's
about
not
it all
many
the
on
time.
here.
And there's a bunch of them. I can send you a few.
I've heard that name. Yeah, send me a few of them because I'll watch them.
The
That's
Ted
how I-
Nugent one, he talks about it on the Ted Nugent one. That's more about the wild boar one. He brings it up on that one because, of course, Ted Nugent's involved with that one. But
Right.
and yeah, I'm looking that up. They absolutely, that was William Randolph Hearst. Had a big, huge plot of land and brought in a bunch of wild boar. They got loose, and now they are roaming all over California, Texas. They're an invasive species. They don't belong there, and now they're roaming wild and killing off all the actual wildlife and eating all the wildlife's food. And then people are like, "Why are you shooting them out of helicopters?" Like, you have to get rid of them. Like, otherwise, everything else is gonna die. They don't belong there. They're not supposed to be there.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
that's not their natural habitat. Some fucking rich asshole 70 years ago brought him there and let him fucking loose because he's a dipshit.
yeah. I'm just looking at something. Yeah. They have 5 to 6 pigs per litter.
That's
How
a
often now?
winky winky.
I want to say it's like, I mean, they fucking breed and have babies like, God, I know. I want to say it was every few weeks or 6 weeks or something like that.
That's
I
terrifying.
heard it somewhere, but yeah.
Imagine if humans did that. Oh dear God.
Oh no, I'm way off. Every 6 months.
Okay. Well,
But
I was gonna
each
say every
hog
few
having
weeks a
5 to
guy
6.
could go breed, but there's only so many
Yeah.
women out there, I guess.
But that's insane, though. I mean, 5 to 6 hogs, 2 times a year
Yeah,
per.
that can add up quick.
You know, yeah. Jesus, that's crazy.
So
But yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, that CBD conversation kind of went all over the place there.
yeah, it did. It's
I like it.
It's
I
pretty
got
topic.
I got see, and it's kind of in Nebraska. It's kind of a gray area too. So I looked up
Unless
the.
you're a football player.
That's right.
To-
What are they gonna do with him? I tell you what I would do with him, but that's a whole nother subject, I guess.
You can't tell me that shit's not going on anywhere else. And
Yeah.
like, look at
Everywhere.
the kids in
Yeah.
Colorado or California. Like, they're smoking
It,
whatever they want whenever
Well,
they.
that's where we're at now. Recruiting is going to come down to where is pot legal? Where can I get CBD to make my joints feel better after a
Oh dear
nasty
God!
game?
If that's how we're gonna
Nick
get our
Diaz on the
recruiting
stage.
done in Nebraska, I will be back in Lincoln like soon.
But I looked up the laws on THC in Nebraska, sorry, CBD in Nebraska, and of course it popped up all these CBD shops here, and so from what I understand, it's anything over 0.003% of THC is illegal. Anything under that is not illegal. So most of the full spectrum CBD oils, full spectrum meaning it comes from the entire plant, they are like a 0.001% THC, something like that. So that's the gray area. I don't know if that's all true, but that's what I read on the laws, and that's how these lawyers that I think in the one in North Platte, I think that's how they got them off of it. And I don't know. See, there's several in Omaha and Lincoln too.
So the big problem with trying to measure any of the THC, so CBD for because that's what we originally started with. So most CBDs, and if you're getting a pure form of it, you're not going to get any THC in your system. You don't have to worry
Right,
about any of that. It's not
right,
going to happen. If you
right.
buy some cheap shit from somebody you don't know, yeah,
Yeah,
who knows
yep.
what you're going to get. But THC is actually the psychoactive substance that's in marijuana, and that substance will stay in your body. Now, this depends on not only your body weight, how much you smoked or eaten, depending on how that goes, will depend on how long it stays in your body, how often you do it or don't do it, will determine how fast it passes through you. So that's the problem I have with any measuring stick they have for marijuana use in general is there is no good measurement because you could really just tear people apart for any little, insignificant amount of any pot, THC, like anything, because they were around it. Like,
Hmm.
yeah, the second hand high. Okay, yeah, it's really not a real thing, but it does happen, and it does end up in your system. Like, it's not completely false. It's not like it never happens. So don't be ignorant to the fact of stuff like that. But if you don't smoke regularly, it's out of your system in a couple days. But if you smoke every day, it's in your system longer, but maybe in smaller amounts. So there's so much nuance to it. And the fact that a lawmaker wants something like alcohol to where you can measure it, you can have one beer and it stays in your system for X amount of time with this amount of body weight. And they make a scale and they can all give us a little flip chart in school and tell you if you have 3 beers at 180 pounds, you are above the legal limit. You can't do that with marijuana. It doesn't fucking work like that.
Right. Yeah. And I think that's part of the big problem too. And I know that's been brought up in conversations I've had with others as well, as they don't know if you're, if they pull you over, they don't, how do they tell how much you've used and what's the limit you're allowed to have? Well,
Being able to
until they,
police it, yeah.
yeah, until they do, I mean, I don't know, it's zero. It would almost have to be zero tolerance as far as driving. I don't know, but
It would have to
that's
start
tough.
that way until a way to gauge it was
Right.
found, and I don't
Yeah.
see one.
It would be so tough. I know I was in, I was a CO and a drug technician with the probation office here in New York for a while. And so I've seen officers give DUIDs and do the testing. And it's kind of wicked how they do the testing. So it's basically they check and see if you're under the influence of drugs. And then by doing these tests, if they determine you are, then they go get your blood levels. and in the blood levels they can tell you how many nanograms, I think is how they do it. Which I think that's how my drug test
Is it
used
like
to work.
John Jones and his picogram test?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, picogram. Yeah, that's pretty much how I think that's how I'm pretty sure that's how the drug tests work. Is they test on nanograms and
My only problem with it is the subjective part of it, and you know, I'm sure there's some science and some thoughts behind it, and I don't blame any, you know, cops or probation officers, anybody. You know, they're doing their jobs, they're doing what they are
right.
told to do, and they feel like they're doing the right thing. But when it comes to I see it all the time, and yeah, sometimes it's clickbaity videos and shit like that on
Hmm.
Facebook or YouTube. But like, yeah, people minding their own business, and then a cop walks up and is like, "I smell pot." Well, okay,
Yeah.
maybe the asshole in the apartment behind me was burning fucking incense, and it smells like pot. You know,
Mm.
like I remember when I was a kid, we would take the pine needles off of because we used to always get an actual Christmas tree, a real fucking tree, which nobody fucking does anymore, including
Yeah.
myself, because I'm a fucking douchebag like that, and I'm gonna bitch about it. But like we used to burn the pine needles, and it smelled like pot. It does. Like
Hmm.
there's a lot of things that smell like pot, and the fact that
Oh
a
yeah.
cop can walk up and be like, "I smell pot over here," like, and that's reasonable suspicion on somebody. Kind of, it's subjective, and I don't like that part of it because that gets people into trouble, and that causes a lot of. I guess it probably doesn't happen as often, but it still happens, and that's not right. And I think
Yeah.
I wish the law enforcement community was just like, "Hey, it's pot. All right,
Yeah.
like calm the fuck down."
Right. Right.
Like I
I,
get it if the dude's transporting 2 tons of pot or he's got a full car full of pot, he's dealing and he's probably dealing with bad people, and that's what you
right.
need to focus on. Even if you decriminalize it, like I was talking earlier, that gets weird, that gets sketchy, and that's hard for lawmakers to figure out. But those are the people that are likely going to lead to deaths. The random dude on the side of the street with a joint in his ear or smells like he's smoking marijuana is doing nothing wrong, and he's not doing any harm to anybody. He's never going to lay a finger on a person the rest of the night. He is chill. Leave him alone.
Speaking of that, either of you, the guy on the side of the street smoking a joint, have either of you been to Denver since it's been legalized?
Yeah,
No.
a couple times.
Is it a shithole?
No, it's actually growing, and it's actually in my opinion, the thing I hate in Denver now is the traffic. So from what I understand, every 3-4 months, 25,000 new people have moved to Denver in the last couple of years. So it's blowing up, like it
Wow.
is growing like crazy. But honestly, I went to Mile High Stadium for a Metallica concert 2 years ago after it was legalized, and um, honestly, like they're building stuff and they're making bigger roads, and like you imagine the income just from the people
Oh
moving in and the
shit.
taxes. But um, I
I
loved
looked it
it.
up at one time, but I mean that's a lot of people have, I've even heard officers say, well, "Look at Denver, Colorado, it's just a shithole now. Go look at downtown Denver, it's just a shithole." Well, I
Uh,
haven't been there, so
well, who
I
the
can't.
hell goes downtown to any city? Every
Yeah,
city's downtown's a shithole.
shithole. Yeah, right. Yeah. So
I
I
go
just
downtown Sioux Falls as a shithole. Like Sioux
yeah,
Falls is half the size of Lincoln. It's a shithole downtown.
right. Yeah. Hey, Lincoln's trying to do something with the
Hey,
Haymarket.
Lincoln's
I mean,
Lincoln's downtown is actually pretty fun. It's a
they
pretty
Yeah.
cool place. That's one of the
It's
rare
it's
places
legit
that.
down there.
it's come a long damn way, that's for sure.
Yeah, it has.
Now
It's
Omaha, on the other hand,
Oh
yeah. Go
shithole.
downtown Omaha.
I don't want to go to Omaha fucking period. So
Yeah,
I
no.
know.
yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's just it'll be interesting to see with the election coming up shortly and seeing if Trump gets back in. To see if it gets federally legal, because I think once it's federally legal, I mean, obviously the states can do what they want, right? Am
So,
I right?
and I think
Ideally.
that's Trump's stance. Is that's he's expressed that pretty clearly. He thinks it's a state's right. And that's the one thing I like about Trump is he's willing to just flat out give that. That's a libertarian thought. Give
Yeah.
the right back to the states.
You
Why are
just
we?
Yeah,
said
that's
you just said you like Trump, so like all of our clicks just went down the shitter, man.
I told you I'm trying to
Everybody,
get more dislikes, yo.
yeah.
But no, it's true though. Like, and if you listen to how he talks about things, he is a like he's got a lot of libertarian ideas. Most of his Republican ideas, quote unquote, are libertarian at heart,
Right.
yeah.
Yep.
and he
Yep.
leans right on that libertarian thought.
Yeah.
And those are the things that I do like. Now, yeah, he is kind of a douchebag on
I
some other
I
things.
like
So
to look at it like now, thinking back, like when he first toyed with the idea of running, he could have just as easily run as a Democrat because he wasn't really party affiliated. And
No.
had he like run as a Democrat, just think of how different everything would be now.
Oh my gosh. That
Epstein
would be
would be
insane.
alive.
Oh shit.
No, he
Sorry,
wouldn't.
I had to just jump right to it, like as just shoving the cock right down the hole.
Oh boy. That would be insane.
Yeah.
That would, wow.
No,
Trump a Democrat.
he'd be like
Is
he'd
this
be
like
just
a
the
is this
media's
like a
best friend.
Family Guy multiverse episode? Is this what you're taking this
Oh,
down?
dude, that'd be so amazing. They should do that. They should totally do that.
Seth MacFarlane. There you go. Idea.
Oh, shoot. That's
Yeah.
good stuff.
Yeah. So yeah. What else is new with you guys? I haven't talked to you guys forever.
I know.
I mean,
It's fuck, man. It's been a long time. I haven't even hung out with you in shit a few
yeah,
years.
I honestly, like, legit, I work, I spend time with my wife and my kids, and I trade stocks. I, and I associate with them type, I have people that I talk to that are make millions of dollars, and it's pretty cool. Um, it keeps me going in the stock. I mean, it shows me where I can get because they're doing exactly what I'm doing. They're just doing it with a shit ton more money than I am. You
Yeah.
know, I mean it's crazy. The stock market is crazy. It really is, and I fully believe. Like I told my wife that my son is not going to college unless he wants to play sports somewhere. He's going to be a millionaire by the time he graduates high school, and he's going to do it on his own. So obviously he can't legally have his own trading account, so it'll be my account. So he's going to make dad a millionaire.
And then
But
and Dad'll gift him some money on graduation day.
right, yeah. So that's the ultimate goal. There is you don't have to. I mean,
I
legit,
hear
you
that
don't have to go to college,
I
really.
hear that more and more nowadays. Like that's interesting you said that. I was listening. I listened to Tim Pool. He's got a podcast and he does a lot of videos, and I don't watch them
Hmm.
all. I just pop into ones that look interesting. But
Hmm.
one thing that he said, and it was really interesting, is more and more Americans nowadays are telling their kids, "Don't go to college. It's not worth it. You're not going to make any more money. You're going to end up farther in debt."
Right,
And honestly, if you just stick to a craft or stick to a trade and become an expert at that and maybe get a certificate or maybe an associate's if needed, but like you don't need a bachelor's degree, you don't need a doctorate because it's a big waste of time and you're never going to pay it back and it ruins your life
right,
and kills your parents.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
That's absolutely where we're at because we're going to start getting to the point where tuition is going to skyrocket because of the amount of people who opt not to go to the next level of education and maybe just go to a trade school or don't even do that. They get trained by the company that they get in with, and it's not even going to be a requirement that you need a big fancy degree because people understand that going into debt right out of high school is and you're locked into that for 30, 40 years, so
yep,
nobody wants to do that. So getting to college, getting accepted is going to, you're not going to have to be nearly as smart, but the price to do it is going to probably go up in return. So I don't know,
right.
do we end up even seeing like half of them folding, not like the top tier ones, but a lot of the smaller ones, like even
I
like
mean,
the community colleges?
you're still going to have your doctors and your lawyers and stuff like that. I
Yes.
mean, we need lawyers, we need doctors, stuff like that. But as far as like the 2 year colleges, stuff like that, I agree with. I think you're going to see a lot of them disappear. I mean,
Look at it this way. I am so mechanically inclined, it's not even funny. I can't do shit for mechanic work.
uh-huh.
I just a few weeks ago, I changed out the condenser fan on my truck, and I had no prior knowledge on how to do that. You know how I did that?
YouTube,
YouTube.
you bet.
A 10
Yep,
minute video, or I could have went to school for 2 to 4 years.
yep.
Well,
I know a
huh.
kid that's 20. I think he's 23 years old. He learned everything he knows on YouTube and then on the job, and he makes
Yes.
a shit ton of money. He does.
Hands-on experience plus an
Yeah,
actual visual tutorial. Yeah,
you
that
don't need
beats the
that paper
shit
anymore.
out of paying somebody to explain it through a textbook. No.
Right.
Yeah, much rather watch the YouTube.
Yeah, yeah. But
Yeah.
I mean, not only stock market, there's a lot of network marketing. I mean, a lot of people just turn into seeing that they don't have to slave away for somebody else and line somebody else's pockets for 40 hours a week. Somebody tell them what to do for 40 hours a week when they got to come to work, when they can leave work. They got to work the weekend. The people are realizing you don't have to do that and you can become wealthy, you know? And a lot of people don't want to be wealthy. They just want to be able to do
Oh,
whatever they want, you
they
know?
want to be successful and be comfortable. I think is
Yeah.
like that's always been my goal and my aspiration. And then I don't know. I'm always the challenge guy, and I always want to take the next step. And every time I'm like, I'm pretty comfortable with this, and I feel good with my life. Then I'm like, what else can I do? And then I get like that fucking
Yeah.
bloodthirst and like start going for
Yeah.
the next job. But like most, I think that's the ultimate desire is just I just want to be comfortable.
Yeah.
I don't want to owe somebody more than I make in a year on
Right.
anything.
There
Like
you
Right.
go.
Right.
that gets ridiculous. I remember even doctor bills. Like we can get into medical talks if you want to, but like doctor bills and medical costs are just fucking ridiculous. To where
You could
my
that
best bonus I ever had. I had after taxes. I got a 25K check. Um, it all went to doctor bills one year. Like
yep.
my
That's
best
sick.
bonus just to pay my doctor bills off. But you know how good it felt for me to
To be
write
able
those
I was
fucking
just
checks,
gonna
Oh
ask
yeah.
you.
send that shit
That's
Absolutely.
the
out,
shit.
and
That is the
stop
shits.
the fucking phone calls. And
Yeah.
fucking like I took a little video of me ripping every goddamn one of those bills up and fucking throwing them on the floor. I was like, yeah.
Best
But you know
feeling.
what
Yeah.
happened? You know what happened a year later? Another 10 grand I had to fucking pay because of more
Yeah.
doctor bills. And like,
Yep.
it's a racket. It never ends. That, like,
Medical.
just,
Me,
just shit like that. Like, I don't know how I could have afforded to go to a 4 year school, have a kid get married, and then have his doctor bills and my doctor bills and my wife's doctor bills. Like none of us would ever fucking survive. It would
No,
be
you
just
can't.
a fucking nightmare.
You absolutely can't. And that's how it's designed. It's designed so that a
It's
certain
the
amount of
man
people.
keeping you down.
It is, but
yeah.
it's partly designed so a certain amount of people can't get ahead because that's how the government's kind of designed right now. There's so many do nothing jobs that we are paying our taxes into. These guys work what a third of the year to do nothing but what sit in a room every once in a while to listen to other people make decisions. And that's all they're doing, but we're paying for that. So a certain amount of people have to absolutely get pounded by what they get paid and what they get fined by doctor bills and health care. Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
it's a placement system.
Yep. It is. Absolutely is. It's the medical bills are crazy, and with my back issues, I have had a ton of them. I've fortunately been able to stay on top of them with my income and my wife's income, that I don't owe any doctor a dime. But there are a lot of people that do, and they just can't.
Yeah,
They'll get one paid off, and then boom, there's another one. And
it's
then you got to
crazy,
make
man.
payments on it. And
It's impossible to keep up with.
it is. I mean, and a lot of people, they live above their means. So one little thing like that happens, and it kills them. And I hate seeing that stuff. And
So Brett, you mentioned that I'm in my mid-30s, and I just recently got to the point where not only was I able to break out of that bubble and get
mhm,
past that to where every year I can pay off those doctor bills, but now I
yeah,
have a little money saved up. Like insurance sucks, and no matter
yeah,
where you get it, it sucks. It doesn't pay for
right,
nothing.
right,
But like I have enough backup money now to where if a small emergency happens, I'm not screwed for the year.
right, exactly.
And I
Yep,
don't have to spend my bonus or my I get a little back on income taxes every year, but I don't have to spend all of that to catch
right,
up on doctor bills. Like if like my kid, God forbid, broke his arm or something tomorrow,
uh-huh,
like I could handle that. And I
right,
wouldn't be broke for 2 years because of that anymore.
yeah,
But it took me till my mid 30s to get to that point.
right,
And imagine
yeah,
if I went to
it's
a
crazy.
4 year fucking college in the meantime. Because if I went to a 4 year college and got the degree I was actually originally looking for, I'd be making less money than I am now with no degree.
Isn't that crazy?
It's
That is just
nuts.
insane.
It's
Yeah,
nuts. I meet people all the time. They're like, I got a 4 year degree, and they tell me how much they're making and what they're doing. And I'm like, holy shit. I don't even tell them. I don't because I
yeah,
feel bad. Like,
yeah, right,
I don't want to be like, I got double your salary, bitch. Like,
Oh,
yeah,
you think
right.
you're the one that has to rip the Band-Aid off? Shit, they know by now. Come on.
oh no, they're all proud of themselves because they get a little piece of paper that says they did accomplish something. You know what?
Right.
Let them have that. Let them
They
fucking
can
have
have that
that.
piece of paper. I have a heart that tells me I got a wife and kid at home that love me and I support them and we got each other's back and
Yep.
I made it. Like fuck you
Yeah.
all. I don't need a piece
Right.
of paper to tell me that.
I
And
can print you
another
one off for
problem.
free right now.
Yeah.
Another big problem with that is parents paying for their students' college. Yeah, I mean, yes, there are kids that do great things after their parents paid for all their college, but there's the kids that they just don't know what to do. What happens when mom and dad leave? They're gone. They don't know how to control money. They don't, because they've never had to.
Well, that's part of the experience and, becoming self-sufficient and
Right.
self-responsible.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a very real problem. But in a lot of those instances, you're seeing a lot of the money kind of being paid backward. Like, okay, so you paid for your kid. Eventually,
Mhm.
they take that degree and they turn it into a high-paying job. So then they're going to end up paying for their kid. But that's that higher
Yeah.
tier job market where you're going to see most of that. So, like your doctors and your lawyers, like you said before, they're
Right.
going to be
Which
paying
one?
for their kids, pro
Right.
bono. You're going for free, but then your kids are going to go for free. So it's cyclical. But then the
Yeah.
people on those lower tiers, yeah, it's 30, 40 years of debt.
Yep. Exactly. It's it's crazy, and I tell you what, jumping into the stock market, man, it was me stepping out of my comfort zone. I mean, I was not count. I hate math, and obviously, you don't really need to know math. I mean, but you have to step out of your comfort zone to do stuff sometimes to get yourself ahead. To get to where you want to be in life. And the stock market's just. I would love for everybody to be involved in the stock market, and there not be a
Well, because
financial
then you can
advisor.
make some money off of some dumb decisions. No.
Yeah. No, I told you, my goal is to teach people how to trade. People that I care about, people that I'm friends with. The people that I won't help is the people that have told me I'm an idiot and the stock market is stupid and it's for uh, what do they call them? Short pants people. Office people that don't know how to work 40 hours a week or don't want to work 40 hours a week, and they're being
I,
lazy. And
I flip that back on people because like I am a hardworking guy, but you know what? Like half of my job is office and the other half is hard labor.
hmm
So I'm doing a
right,
little bit of both worlds, and I'm like,
right,
I want the office job. Like if I
yeah,
I have the choice, like put me in the office all fucking week because this
yeah,
hard labor
right.
stuff sucks.
It does, yeah. I mean, my wife and I worked. for I think she worked at Walmart and the place she's at now. Well, she works from home now, but um, she worked both of those jobs. I worked probation in the jail for 3-4 years in our early 20s, so that we didn't have to struggle in our 30s. So we literally have, I mean, our house and a vehicle payment. That's it. So
Yeah.
it's tough to get there, but the stock market's going to take things a lot further than that. But we save money. That's big. You want to save some, but you want to invest some too that can give you some return. So I do 401k stuff too. So that is, and most people have somebody else do it for them. But after talking with some other buddies and they take care of their own, knowing that I can basically cut out the middleman, keep them from getting their percentage and I get all of it. So like a financial advisor will give you, you may, when you get your quarterly statement, it says you made 11% or something. Well, you may have made 50% with your money, but after fees and they get their cut, you get 11% of it, no thanks. And the pullbacks like December, like when the market pulled back at the end of 2018, you can set your money on the sidelines real quick, or buy puts like I do and make money while it's going down. So I like doing that stuff for myself too, I guess. But
Well, like you said, you got to get out of your comfort zone, and nobody ever got anywhere being comfortable. You can't get
yeah,
somewhere on the couch.
right. And getting out of your comfort zone is different than being comfortable. Like Chicken said,
Oh yeah,
he
yeah,
wants to be comfortable. Yeah, it's two different comfortables.
living
But
comfortably takes getting out of that comfort zone to get to a
yeah,
place where
exactly,
you can be
exactly
comfortable.
right. Yeah. So,
So
but
you talked about wanting to, eventually start teaching this and
uh-huh.
helping people get involved. And I'm sure, I don't know, I always joke about how little subscribers we have, but actually, Tony, I don't know if you looked at last 48 hours. We had 51 viewers, and of those 51 viewers, only 10 of them were actual subscribers. So we have people like just popping up, or I don't know, maybe we figured out something with the algorithm and we're popping them into YouTube stuff all of a sudden. But like, if somebody was listening to this, Brett, especially if they're local around the York, Fairmont, Geneva, or Lincoln, or somewhere around that area, and they wanted to come spend a day with you or learn about this, how could they get a hold of you, and what immediate advice would you have, and what would they need to do before they get to you, and how would they get to that point, and how would they get started?
I guess you'd want to be, the main thing was, don't come to me if you just want to dabble in it. I mean, if you want, I take that back. Don't come to me if you're not serious about wanting to trade, because I don't want to waste my time and I don't want to waste your time. But
So be honest on what you want to do.
mhm. um, as far like I just want to show people how to make money. You know, obviously, I'm not I'm not a licensed professional by any means, so I can just show you how to make money. I can't. How do they say that? Without getting yourself in trouble, because I legally can't. I don't want to get sued. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
Oh,
No,
you told
and
me to get
and
into
and
this
I'm
stock
I
and it
meant
didn't.
anybody
Yeah.
that's wanting to do this. They need to be honest on what their intentions are
Yeah.
when they
Oh,
come to
yeah.
you. Like I feel
Right.
you're going to be honest with them on what you can offer and provide. But
Yeah.
I think that's fair in any field or anything you're looking into. You gotta be honest with
Right.
yourself on what you're getting into, and if you're
Right.
all in and know your limits. You got $200, or you got 5 grand, or you got 20 grand. Like,
Yep.
what are you willing to do?
Right. Yeah. So most of the time you want to start an account off with, my second account. I started with 3 grand. So, um, $200-300. I've done it, but the newbie isn't not going to do it. But if you want to just throw some money in something, I'd be willing to share what I would tell you to get into, but I can't guarantee a profit on it. That's just legality purposes. I got to cover my butt, because if I said that you're gonna make money on this and you don't make money and you lose the 200 or the $1,000 that you put into it, I don't want to get sued. You know what I mean? But mainly, I just want to. I guess I want to see people not have to work 40 hours a week. And live to where my wife and I, we like to help others. Struggling people. We like to donate money to organizations, stuff like that. But we're comfortable financially that we're able to do that. Where as there's other people that may want to do that, but they can't because they're financially not able to do that. I want to see people get to that point. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, that
So,
makes sense.
but I mean, obviously, you can Facebook. That's pretty much what I use for everything. If you message me on Facebook, or I mean, I don't want to give my cell phone number out, but
No, no, no.
obviously,
You good if the YouTube version and the iTunes
yeah,
version would just put your Facebook profile Facebook profile link in the edit section down below. And that
yeah,
suffice for you, sir.
yeah, yep, that works. And I'll get you in touch with some very, very knowledgeable people too. I mean, my buddy Brandon, I mean, that dude kills it every morning. Every freaking morning, he's profiting. And he's obviously doing it full time. So he gets to sit at his computer like I want to, from 8:30 till noon, which is, they go to lunch and then the algos take over, and um, there's no really until power hour, after lunchtime. But I don't want to work past noon. That's as late as I want to work. I want to be at my computer from 8:30 to noon and be done, and then go spend time with my wife and my son, my 2.5-year-old, and my kids. The cool thing about it is, though, for the people that I want to show, I can cut out them 9,000 hours. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
take you to the basics. Show you the basics, and you can legit make money off the basics. You're not, obviously, I mean, you could, but I wouldn't recommend it trading like I do in the mornings. But, if you buy a occasional stock here or an option here and make a little money off of it, it's so easy. Everything's just overwhelming when like, I popped up that screen and you're like, holy shit, there's a lot going on. Now think about it. That screen in the morning, them numbers are just bouncing all over the place.
Right,
So
right.
it gets even more intense in the morning. That's why I recommend starting out with a simulated trade, the simulator. But you could call TD Ameritrade and they turn it on live market. So it's actually live. The only thing that's different is like the slippage in the option prices, which you won't really have that issue. Oh, excuse me, I'm tired. You won't have that issue if you're trading, not like I'm trading on SPX and SPY. You see the slippage there a hell of a lot more than you do with buying Apple and holding it for a week. You know what I mean?
Sure, sure.
So, but that simulator is a hell of a good place to start. It really is. Because you're doing the same thing that I'm doing. You're just doing it with fake money.
Right, you're
So
you're just simulating. Yeah,
yeah,
that's the paper stock option, or the simulated option is
right.
you just pretend money to and see how you would land and how your decisions would be. But yeah, it doesn't always translate because you're not as impulsive with fake money as you are with real money. And
Right. I can attest to that, because when I first got going, I started on this. We called him the coach, which I will not refer anybody to him, but he always told you to start off with the paper trading, get consistent with it, and then when you feel comfortable, switch over to live. Well, I got consistent with it, and then I went to live, and it was like, oh my God, I just put $500 in that. My heart's fucking thumping like crazy. You know, I don't want to lose this $500. You know,
Yeah,
and
it's like it's like a UFC fight. You're in the gym
mhm.
sparring and rolling and practicing, and then all of a sudden they close the cage, and you're in a real fight, and you're like, that dude's really gonna hit me now.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it really you really have to, like you said, it's fun money. You know, like you said, you had $200 or $300. It's that you don't care about. You really have to emotionally disconnect from the money. You really do. And it took me forever. And there's times I still have issues with it. But $200 or $300 doesn't bother me. You know, it's the thousands of dollars when I put that, you know, that bothers me still.
Yeah,
But
so I think that would be the lesson then. Like if you're not willing to go, I lost it.
yeah,
Like if you're not that stable and you're not able to do that, then it's maybe you need to trade at a lower level. And if you're going to
yeah,
trade at a lower level, you're probably not going to make that kind of income. So that might
right.
not be
Yeah.
the way to go.
I know, I honestly know people that make tens of thousands of dollars a day doing this stuff. It is insane. It really is
That
insane.
is insane.
Yeah. I mean, you're talking millions and millions of dollars a day or a year. I'm sure there's people that make millions of dollars a day, but not anybody that I associate with, you know, but
Yeah, that's those are
those are
those
the
are
dark
Jeffrey
horses we
Epstein
talk about.
levels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
How many references to Clintons and Epstein's can we do in a podcast without directly?
Yeah. Tony, did you fall
I'm trying to
asleep?
get suicided, Brett. If you couldn't tell.
It's
I
gonna
know you
work.
are. Yeah. That was crazy how I was just telling a guy at work how many times you said, I'm not trying to kill myself. I don't want anybody to kill me on that podcast that I watched last
Yeah.
night.
I
Oh
think it was
boy.
3 or 4 times we brought it up. Like, hey, just
Yeah.
clarify again.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I would love to get I mean, Tony, you're more than welcome to come over on a weekend and just even spend I don't even you guys are intelligent enough. I don't think it would take a whole weekend to show you the basics, really. I
You might be giving us both more credit than we deserve.
it's seriously way more than like all those numbers on there, you're only paying attention to a few of them. You don't care about the rest of them, you know. So it's really simple. It is crazy how simple it is.
Hey, I can draw lines. I showed it.
Right? That's all you need to do. If you can draw lines on a chart, you can fucking do this shit.
Hey, Tony, can you put a beer can on top of a beer bottle? He's gonna try. Okay, he just walked away like he's searching for a beer can and beer bottle. Okay, so that's an inside joke, but he's still gonna go chase after it. So
But yeah,
I wasn't serious, Tony. Come back.
I might be able to get you into my
Oh, fuck,
buddy's
fuck, he's
Discord.
doing it. All right, Tony, you got to say something.
I gotta see
Camera's
this.
not gonna show you.
Well, it's just a Sprite bottle and a Minute Maid lemonade can, but damn it, the point stands.
That's fucking cheating. Neither of them were alcohol. You suck. All right.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, fellas. We're 2.5 hours in already.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, but yeah, I'm telling you, people don't understand the market, and they get intimidated by it, so they don't even want to mess with it.
It is intimidating. Just looking at
It is. It really is. And you think the people that are, you know, people think of the stock market, they think of Wall Street, they think of big wigs and the, you know, the the
Leo
floor.
DiCaprio's screaming
Yeah.
and crazy rooms and drunken parties and cocaine.
Yeah. If you've seen that floor now, I'm sure there's still people down on the floor, but a lot of it's algos, man. There's a lot of algos that go into that shit. But, and what I mean by algos is like algorithms that are set up by geniuses,
Sure. Yeah.
you know. But
The people that went to college.
Right. Well, not necessarily.
I know. I'm
He
just
could have
fucking
he
around.
could have smoked a joint and just fucking blew your mind. You know what I mean?
Right, right. Yeah. He just hung out
There's
with
some.
Elon Musk one day and had a drink.
Yeah, that fucker is intelligent. That is an intelligent guy. I've made some money off of Tesla myself, but that's a funny one. I was on vacation
You
and
need
I
him to get
promised
back
my
on Rogan and let that shit drop again and then invest and watch it skyrocket back.
yeah. I haven't watched it for a while, but oh shit. He I was going on. We were going on vacation. We took our surprised our kids to. We went down to Florida, Destin, Florida, for a week, and I promised my wife I wouldn't be on my phone. Well, before I left, I had bought like 10 or 15 shares or contracts of Tesla, and so of course I can't keep my eyes off my account on my phone. Well, the damn thing started moving like crazy one day. We were on the boardwalk down on the beach, and I was glued to my phone, and finally I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna sell this. I made like $40 or something, and put my phone in my pocket, and then I don't know, like an hour later we went to sit down and eat, and I pulled it out, and I'm like, oh my fucking god! I sold that, and I would have made like $4,000.
Oh,
Like an
that's a
hour later,
heartbreaker.
oh shit, man, it killed me. But it is what it is. I mean, it is what it is. The benefit is I didn't lose any money. You know.
Yeah, you got to look
That's
at it that
how
way.
that's how you have to look at it in the grain
Yeah, you
market,
really do. Yeah, because you
because
gotta.
you could sit on a chunk of a grain for 2 3 years and pay storage on it and end up not coming away with anything because you didn't want to take it at a nickel less than the price was at, and now it's $1.50 lower and you're stuck with that price because you were too stubborn to sell it for a nickel below what you wanted. You want to come out
Right.
ahead always.
Right. Yep. And so you've already. I mean, you kind of understand that part of it, really. I mean, you cannot be greedy at all.
No,
That's why
coming out
I've
in the
started.
green is still coming out in the green, no matter how you want to look
Yeah.
at it.
Right. I mean, I've gotten out of stocks and watched them run up, run up, run up, just keep going up, and I would have made thousands instead of hundreds. It used to kill me. Now it's like, you know what? I still took profit. I don't care. Now
You
I'm
kind
gonna
of know
wait.
that going in that's kind of the MO of the entire thing, and that's how it operates, and still is able to operate the way it does.
Right. And that now I use trail stops a lot. Trail stops are freaking phenomenal. So like when I get into so much profit, I'll set a trail stop. So if the stock were to pull back, I set them like on the option price. So say the stock's trading or the option price is at 50 cents. We'll just use an easy number. I'll set it at 35 cents. So if it pulls back to 35 cents, it'll automatically sell me out. Now, if it goes up to 55 cents, now that 35 went to 40. You know what I mean? So it just trails along, and so you can catch them big runners, but you're gonna secure your profit by setting a trail stop. There's stop
Yeah,
losses, all sorts of different ways of doing it, but
that makes sense.
trail stops are amazing because it. I mean, I was in a trail stop on what the hell was that? I tried to enter one on PTLC or PCTL the other day, but I've never set one on an actual stock. I don't know if you can do it, but I tried and it sold me out, and I made like 110% on it. But um, the other day, I set a trail stop, like a 15-point trail stop, and it bumped that up like I set it at like 50 or no 65, and it bumped it all the way up to like $1.05. And then it pulled back, pulled back to that $1.05 and sold me out automatically. What's nice about those is when I'm at work and if I get busy and I can't look at it,
It takes
I
care of you.
know
It
that
just sells
yeah,
it.
yeah, it just sells it for me. So
Nice.
that's really nice. But there's also, I mean, there's stories on that stuff. You'll see crazy candles. They call them candles, but they'll
That's
just
the that's the
spike down.
little sticks, green and red sticks up and down, right?
Yep.
That's the
And then there's
candles.
wicks. You'll see them wick down, and what they're doing is it'll just do it real quick, and it'll hit people's stop losses, stop them out, and then the son of a bitch will keep going up. So that's why I stayed away from it for so long. But man, they're fantastic.
There's a lot to learn there.
Oh yeah,
There's a ton to pay attention to, and
yeah,
I'm pretty quick, and I read a ton of info, and I drive a ton. So I've been listening to podcasts on just basics of what to do, what to look at, and everything you're saying, man, is right in line with what any credible expert I could find on there that didn't sound like a
yeah,
total dumbass.
yeah. There's some there.
You got to be careful because there's some people if you get on YouTube and just look like, hey, basic day trading thoughts or basic trading thoughts, like, be careful. Like,
I should have wrote some down for you guys, but
I just recommend, like, there's a ton of good ones on there, but you have a few sneaky ones. So if you get on there and you have some guy like hyping you up or seems a little too confident or too a little, hey guys, like, sounds like a used car salesman, back the fuck out of that video because that's
yeah,
bullshit. Like,
and you're not going to become a professional in.
a
I mean,
real
a week.
trader's going to flat out tell you, hey, you're going to lose money. Be prepared to
Yeah,
lose money
absolutely.
off
Yep.
the bat. Like, you're
I
not
lose
going to be
money all the
successful.
time. I lose money daily. Daily. I mean, really, no, I shouldn't say daily, but there's a lot of times like you'll enter a put and a call. So you're going to lose money on one side, but you're going to make more money on the other. You know what I mean? So
You got
I
to
do
look
that.
long-term gains and losses.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, but regardless, you're going to lose money. The thing you want is you make more than what you lose percentage wise,
Sure, sure.
So, and there's a lot. I'm by far not a professional, but I know what I'm doing, So
Awesome.
I don't know. There's Adam Koo is another one that he's very knowledgeable. He's got a YouTube. He kind of teaches you. I think he kind of teaches you the basics,
Cool, cool. Shout out to Adam Q.
Yeah, he's pretty
Let's
good.
see if I can throw his Facebook or Twitter and
YouTube. He's got a YouTube channel, I believe.
YouTube channel. Cool.
Mm,
I'll see if I can add him into the notes below as well, so you have a little reference point there or where to go
yeah.
to, along with Brett's profile. Outside of stocks and outside of CBD, well, first off, let's plug your CBD. You started a CBD business,
Yeah.
is that right?
Yeah, I figured, I told my wife, I said, like you, I tried several other, I bought some off Amazon and tried that, nothing worked. And I told her, I said, you know what? If I find something that legitimately helps me, I'll promote it. If someone wants to buy it, I'll sell, So yeah, I do sell it from, it's HempWorks is the company that it's through. You can I'll send you my website. You can throw that down on there. So I have my own website. You can go buy from me. Yeah, but it's amazing
It's
stuff.
good product. So I've actually tried some of the HempWorks stuff, and
It's good
when
stuff.
it comes to the oils, they do I've done the oil drops before, and I think I had the 1,000 milligram oil drops, and
Yeah, it's good stuff.
they do the trick, man. They do the trick. I love
Oh
it.
yeah.
Cool.
Yepper.
So outside of CBD and outside of stock trading, we can go on random topics. I think, Tony, do you got anything prepared tonight? Like, we're gonna call this technically episode 15, I guess is what we came to. But any funny news stories or things coming up we need to ramble about and bitch about?
I got nothing tonight, man. I'm just glad my kids slept through most of it.
Hey, yeah, congrats. How about here we go. We can all three get on to this one. September 7th, Khabib against Poirier.
Oh, baby. I love that.
It's going to be a freaking amazing fight. And then
I
not
love
only that,
that.
you got Edson Barboza and Paul Felder. Like,
Right.
both of those fights are just like, what?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That, I think Dustin can get her done. I do. Because he's good on the ground too, is why I think he can get her done. You've seen Khabib get rattled. I think it was God dang it, what fight was that? I just had it. Kevin Lee. I think it was Kevin Lee,
Yeah, I think you're right. It might have been
rocked him a little bit. I think
He
if
ended
he
up
can keep
taking
it
over
standing,
eventually,
obviously.
but yeah, he had some moments
He
of
got him down on the ground,
yeah,
and Khabib on the ground is fucking ridiculous. He's an
yeah,
animal.
you just get mauled.
Yeah, but Dustin can take the mauling, and he knows how to defend on the ground. He's really good on the ground. So, I mean, that's an extremely good matchup. And Dustin's got fucking heart. Holy cow, that guy.
Yeah, he does, man.
I mean that if Connor, I'm a Connor fan, massive Connor fan. So that's a matchup I don't want to see again because I think Dustin will take him. Honestly,
Yeah,
I
I want to
I
see
like
Connor
that.
Diaz 3.
I do
I
too.
want to see it. I
I
think
think that's
Diaz showed that like he's still here. He's in it still.
yeah. Oh yeah. He's and then he's fucking vaping on the in the pre-fight workouts.
Yeah. It was his brother got suspended for smoking pot, and it was great.
He's crazy.
He is crazy.
Yeah.
Any
I
thoughts?
I think the biggest thing is going to be does Khabib have a bit of a just a not a hangover, but the way you destroy Conor McGregor like that, do you kind of come in with an idea or an attitude that okay, I'm the baddest sumbitch ever, and then you just kind of let your guard down a little bit because of that, and do you get caught? That's my question.
That's always a risk. I think that's a fair thought to always have, especially
Well,
with
when you
somebody
beat
at
a
that
guy
level.
of that caliber with that name recognition, it's kind of hard not to let it go to your head a little bit.
Yeah,
yeah.
you gotta be careful for sure.
Yeah, I agree with that. Plus, he hasn't been in the ring in a while, and
There you go.
Dustin just fought.
He's in,
Was it?
Khabib's pretty famous in the U.S., but overseas, man, that dude's a
Yeah, this one's
rock
in
star.
Dubai, I think.
Yeah, he's a fucking rock star. When you leave the
Oh yeah,
U.S., like he's big here. Yeah, like that dude everywhere he goes, he's got what dripping at his feet everywhere he goes. So
yeah. Dustin full blown wants that fuck. He wants that belt unified. So he is training his ass off, and he's just. I think he can get her done. I really do. I'm not going to put any money on it. That's one fight I won't put my. I usually like to bet the undercards and stuff like that, but or the ones that I really feel extremely good about. My mybookie.org is who I bet through. They sponsor Action Junkies podcast, so
nice, nice.
um, yeah.
Shout out
So I bet
again. Shout outs all night long, man.
you bet. I follow a lot of people and do. I mean, a lot of shit on the computer on my iPad. I mean, I fall asleep with my iPad. So that's what I do. I talk to John probably once a week, I suppose, through text message or on Instagram or something. But
Nice, nice.
yeah, he's actually invited me out to go to some Dana White Contender Series
Oh,
with him.
that'd be
So
awesome.
yeah, I think I'm going to do that sometime. But my wife and I we don't do much, so getting away from my 2-year-old, 2.5-year-old is
That's hard
don't
to
like
do,
doing that
but
much.
yeah, yeah, you got to take those when you can.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I think Dustin can get her done. I do. Like I said, I wouldn't put money on it, but I think he can get her done.
Yep, that's definitely one I'm ordering for sure. This last pay per view was Stipe. Did you watch the Stipe fight?
I did.
Oh,
I
that was
did.
fucking
DC pissed me
unbelievable.
off. I like them both. Don't get me wrong. I like both of them. But DC fought not his fight. Take his ass to the ground
Yeah,
and wrestle him. You win
he
that
didn't
fight.
even try. He didn't even try.
Uh-uh.
And then he had no answer for those body shots.
Mm-mm.
The
Once I saw
entire
those coming, I'm like, oh fuck,
round.
this is over.
Like he hit
Yeah.
the first one, and I was like, "Wow, that one looked bad." And then,
Uh-huh.
like 5 seconds later, he lands another one, exact same stance and exact same
Right.
throw, and I was like, "Dude, he hit DC with that one twice, and DC didn't do anything." And then all of a sudden, boom, boom, and he hits it like 5 times in a row. I was like, "This is over. Like he's just gonna keep landing that thing, and you could see DC every time just wilting a little bit more. I was like, yeah, this is over. It's done.
Yeah.
Like every
Right.
time he landed that shot, you seen not only DC wilter, but you seen Stipe just like more confident and hitting harder every time. I was like, oh man, what a momentum swing. That was crazy.
Yeah. That was great because DC was winning that fight up until that
Oh,
round, I
he was
believe.
crushing that fight.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't. That was round 4, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was in
Yeah,
the
it was
fourth
championship
round.
round.
I actually had DC. I contemplated one round being a 10-8 for DC because like Stipe just wasn't doing
Doing
anything
nothing.
those first few
Uh-uh.
rounds. Like it was bad.
Yeah.
But
Right.
man, he turned that around.
He
Amazing,
did.
amazing.
Yeah. And then, yeah, that was a good one. The Diaz fight was a good one.
Yeah, Diaz. He
There was a,
never disappoints.
yeah. Like I said, I'm not a Diaz fan, but you can't really hate the guy. I mean, in the ring, you cannot hate the guy.
Right.
He goes out there and does his work. You know, there's a lot of things that you don't see about Diaz that the hardcore fans do see. You know, the fucker he's an animal, and he
Right.
don't look like. I love when he goes out there and flexes. He's just skin and bones.
Yeah, I
Oh
gotta
man.
do a quick share. My niece tagged me in this one on Facebook today.
Oh boy. The Stockton slap. Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, that's great. I'm still a Connor fan, but I was actually going to wear a Connor shirt tonight, but I'm like, nah, I got to wear this one. I have not wore this shirt yet, so I had to wear it. I don't wear any. I have all but like 2 of Jake Ellenberger's shirts that I don't wear. I wore them once for that fight, and then I have, Jesus, a shit ton of Connor shirts. I bought a autographed Connor picture off of eBay. I won it for like $260 or something.
Nice.
It's crazy. Yeah. So I love Connor, but
Yeah, I'm excited to see him come back. It looks like maybe this fall, if not early 2020. So looking for Connor to
I'm
finally make
thinking
his way back.
maybe a New Year's Eve card or
Oh,
that time.
that's what he wants. He wants a big pay-per-view. So
Yeah. And he'll get it. I mean, he's still, but the problem is has Connor been away too long that people aren't as drawn to him? I don't know.
I think he keeps making enough ruckus in the news. People still
I'm
know
gonna say
who
he's
he
keeping his
is.
name
But,
fresh enough. I
but
think.
yeah, bad news. You don't beat an old guy up. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he apologized, Brad. He apologized.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man, he just cracks me up. He cracks me up.
Anything
So
else,
yeah,
Tony? Any other stories? Anything you thinking about?
there's a couple other UFC fighters from Nebraska. You got Lionheart from Omaha, and then gosh darn it,
Who
Greg.
lost to John Jones recently? Yeah.
Yeah, in a 5-round fight.
Yeah, he did
And
well. He did well.
yeah, I think he can beat him. I really do. Um, then you got Grant Dawson out of Stromsburg, Nebraska.
Grant Dawson.
Yeah, and Drew Dober out of Omaha, Nebraska. So there's 3. Yeah, Grant Dawson. I think he's had 2. He was on the Contender Series, the first one, I believe. One, then he got popped for PEDs, so they
Oh,
kicked
he
him
got some
out.
picograms going on.
Yeah. So they kicked him out, and then he somehow, I don't know what all happened, but he got back in, and I think he's fought twice and won both of his fights.
Huh.
But he's out of Stromsburg, Nebraska, about
So
15
here's the
miles.
problem. Like we had Houston Alexander was probably the most electric. Before Jake Ellenberger, he was the most electric fighter out of
Oh yeah.
Nebraska. That everybody was like, "Yeah, we gotta," and he was pumping
Mhm.
up Nebraska, and he like begged Dana White to bring a fight to Nebraska. And here's the deal: most people around Nebraska are not going to pay those ticket prices. They are crazy high. This is not Vegas, and we're not going to pay Vegas prices for a
Right.
ticket to, honestly, a fight night, which is at best one good fight. The rest of them, yeah, you might see some cool knockouts, but you're not going to see a lot of big names. Most of the time, if you
Right.
come to Lincoln or Omaha or anything like that, it's going to be a fight night promotion or maybe a contender series promotion. I think contender series would make more sense if he could make that like a sellable event in like a small arena situation. Like, I think that might be where Dana needs to go with it, because then a location like a Lincoln or an Omaha, you might actually sell some seats and put some people in there, and
Yeah.
it's not a huge event, but it's a big enough event that you might bring in some people to see, hey, who's the future of the UFC, and not charge $600
Yeah.
for
I
a
don't
crappy
honestly.
seat.
When I went with John to Jake's, nobody knew he was retiring. But when I went, John met me out front and handed me the VIP tickets. Like I was like, okay, cool. I knew I was going to be close because it was John Orlando, and I walk in there and I'm like, oh my God, I'm out of fucking place here. And I
Right.
sat down and then some UFC officials come up to me, or some security come up to me, and they're like, I think you're in the wrong seat. I said, no. I showed them my VIP tickets, John Orlando. These are from Dana White. And they said, no, you're right here. Oh, so you mean I got to move up 2 rows? I'm in the very front row, right next to where they walked out at. And so that was pretty cool. Brian, Jesus Christ, just lost it. Brian
Ortega.
Ortega. Yep, I met him. He sat not too far from me. I sat by who's the guy that got in the accident? Jesus Christ.
Matt Hughes.
Matt Hughes. I met him. He sat not too far down from me. And then yeah, there was a few other ones there too, but I'm drawing blanks
Oh
right
yeah,
now
man,
what
that's
the
an
names are. But
awesome. That's an awesome night. Just
that was,
that
oh
alone was
man,
like, yeah,
it
that's
was crazy. And then going to Jake's after party, that was pretty cool. And then he had the Diego fight was in Omaha. So I've been to 2 UFC events in Nebraska, and both of them were Jake was on the cards. The one in Omaha, Jake headlined, but yeah, that was versus Diego Sanchez. That was a good fight too.
yeah. Old Diego Sanchez, he's such a
He's,
beast.
oh yeah, I love him. He's cool,
He's
dude.
so funny.
Yeah,
You always got to root for that guy these days. You're just like,
yeah.
man, I don't know
He's,
how he's still around, but keep it up, brother. As
I
long as you
know
ain't
it.
get knocked out, do it. Tear it up. I
Yeah,
don't care. I love it.
I could go on. I could go on for days about UFC. I love that shit. You
Oh
know
yeah,
how I
me
am with
too,
that.
man. Like that's my zone. I
Yeah.
got Fight Pass. I'm always watching that. Every time I'm home,
Yep.
I got a projector screen in my garage, so at night I just throw up Fight Pass and just start watching old fights, and I'll pull up
Yeah.
old pay-per-views and be like, I haven't seen this fight in 10 years. Let's see what it like what do I remember versus what really happened. Then I'll see some crazy kick, or
Yeah.
I watched the Anderson Silva Vitor Belfort fight the other night, and that front kick to the face, and I was just like,
Mm.
and the only reason I did it, I was watching the Rogan podcast where what's his name, the British dude, anyway, he had the British dude on there. He used to be a fighter, he's a commentator, and he brought up the fight, and he was like, you can see Vitor's face, and he's looking at where Anderson's going. He thought he was going to throw a leg kick, and instead the leg came up to his face. It was like perfectly timed, perfectly placed, and it was perfectly set up. And then you watch it on Fight Pass, and you're like, holy shit. Like,
Yeah.
just like when somebody tells you, like when you see them tell you that, and then you like visually see how it like lines up, you're like, wow, that was brilliant. Like, it really was brilliant. Like, how he tricked him into thinking it was a leg kick, because you see Vitor like lift up like he's going to check it. And then all of a sudden now he's off balance because he's only got 1 foot on the ground. and the other foot's coming at his face, and he's looking right at the goddamn thing.
Yeah,
It's
right.
Done.
Michael Bisping, was that who you're talking about?
No, it wasn't Bisbing. It was Jesus.
Oh,
Dan Hardy. Dan Hardy.
Dan Hardy. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah. As soon as you said not Bisping, I knew who else it was.
yeah. There's like
Yeah.
two British guys that were worth talking about with the
Yeah. There's some good classics though. There really is.
Yeah.
I talked my wife into last Black Friday. I got a 70-inch, and then the spot that it was supposed to go, it didn't fit, so I had to put it in a different location. But it's right behind me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd come down here and just watch my fights on that. The fights on a big screen are just fucking awesome.
Oh yeah, I got a
They really
65 in my living room. My living room, I can only sit 4 feet away from it, so like it's too big for my.
Have you ever
living room.
played video games on the big TVs? Oh,
So
it's tricky.
So like my big screen, I got that 65. It's a true 4K like that. I put a lot of money into that TV, and I made sure like it can handle my Xbox X, and even a simple game like Rocket League. Like you ever play Rocket League?
I actually quit gaming. I every now and then, but not very. I haven't gamed in a long time. But
So it's just a simple game where you drive around a car and you hit a ball. But like even that game, I went from a crappy TV with a regular Xbox S, and then I went to the Xbox X with a 4K, and I was like, it was like playing a totally different game. Just like I had to reteach myself how to play that game because the graphics were so much better. It was so much smoother, and it flowed so much better. And it sounds stupid, but it's real, man. It was like I sucked the first 2 games when I switched because it was so much better, and I was not used to it. And I had to reteach myself.
yeah, that's how I was with Call of Duty. That the newest Call of Duty. I was playing on a 55, and
Something like that.
yeah, something like that. And I was playing on a 55, and killing it. I thought anyway. And then switched to that 70, and I'm like, oh my God, I cannot do this. I mean, your eyes you almost have to turn your head to, it was crazy. But yeah, so if you can invest in a bigger TV to watch UFC fights, I would recommend it.
Oh, for sure.
Best Buy has a lot of good deals on them on Black Friday. I think I gave like $600 for that 70-inch. Six or maybe 700.
Yeah.
But
I'm sure it was worth it though.
Oh yeah, trying to hang it with a under 5-foot wife though, it's kind of tricky. But
yeah,
yeah, it was difficult.
Nice. Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, well, shit, fellas, we're at 3 hours.
Holy shit, crazy. See, and you didn't learn nothing from me.
Nothing. Tony, got anything to start wrapping this bitch up? I got to get up and go to work here, and soon.
Yeah. I'll look at the markets. I have the CNBC app, so I just click on there and look at the futures.
Nice.
And they're up right now. Nice, I like that.
Good.
That can change, and I mean.
Tony, what are your thoughts on tonight and the future and anything in general, man? Like, you were pretty quiet tonight. Thanks for jumping on, but
Oh yeah. No, just a lot of stuff I'm not familiar with, so good information. I like it. It's definitely something I want to get into when I got some extra cash flow rolling around that I don't want to waste on booze or gambling. Just a different form of it.
Yeah. To some aspect, it is gambling, but there's a lot of technical analysis that goes into it. Once you see it, you'll understand what I mean. But there is gambling that goes into it for sure.
yeah, that's what it seemed like to me. It was a little bit of gambling. That's why I was like, yeah, I'm not afraid of this. Let's do it. I lose money gambling all the time. I'm not afraid of it.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
cool. So, no, Brett, I appreciate you coming on. There was a ton of good information on there. I learned a lot of different things, and I got a few other things I'm going to look into. I'm probably going to get a TD American Trade account now and I'm probably going to
Yeah.
spend more money on this than I care to tell anybody, especially my wife. Hopefully, she doesn't
Yeah.
make it this far into most of these podcasts. She listens to like 10, 20, 15 minutes. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
And then she like fizzles out and be like, yeah, that sounded great, babe. Okay, whatever. And then yeah. So
The crazy part about it
I'm pretty
is,
safe
okay,
right now is what I'm saying.
you go turn, you take $200, turn it into $300. Just say $300. I got a debit card. Hey, honey, you want to go out for supper? You know what I mean? You could buy yourself,
Yeah,
I got a
until I
debit
turn
card.
that $200 into $5, and she'll be like, "Hey, I thought where'd that $200?" He said, "Yeah, and,
Yeah, it can happen.
yeah, yeah." No, I
But
appreciate you coming on, man. This was fun. It was a good time. Always welcome back, and man, dude, I'd love to have you on just to talk about fights and
yeah, well, I will
go over a
definitely do that.
UFC card one of these
Yeah,
times. I get every pay-per-view. I'm sure you do too, and
yeah, I typically do. Yeah,
yeah, maybe we need to partner up on some fight thoughts and go
you
through some of
bet.
those. So.
Yeah,
Uh, hey, so again, Facebook, I'll have your link posted there. Any folks that you had mentioned on there prior, I'll have their names listed down below as well.
okay.
The lady we mentioned on Twitter and any resources that you might have mentioned, I'll make sure all those are in the links below. And for anybody who's caring to learn about some of the day trading thoughts and start getting into this, but I really appreciate what your thoughts with this. When I first talked to you about this, Brett, you'd mentioned that your ultimate goal is not only, of course you want to make money on this, and of course you want to be successful in this, but you wanted to help other people be successful, and you wanted to teach other people how to do this, and that's your ultimate goal with this. Is, of course, eventually maybe you'll want to make some money off of teaching this, but at the end of the day, it's helping people make money and become better at this, and a lot of people get taken advantage of in this field. And I've seen a lot of bad press on day trading, and it's like, what, 97% of day traders don't make any money. Well, it's because they had bad teachers and they didn't invest their time and energy and patience into the right ways of doing it. So hopefully you can help curve that, sir. So appreciate what you're doing. Look forward to the future of what you got. Any last words or anything you want to say before we sign off?
Don't be afraid to message me on Facebook. Private message me. I check that. I'm on Facebook all the time with the stock stuff, and um, I mean, I just love to see more people get into the stock market. It's intimidating, but anybody can do it. I mean, literally anybody can do it. And I can get you, if I can't show you something or I don't know how to do something or got a question, I know somebody that does, that knows the answer to it. So don't be afraid to reach out to me, I guess. I'm by no means a professional, though. I'm by no means guaranteeing you money. I
Got
gotta
it.
say that because I don't want
Disclaimer
to. Yeah,
time.
right. But I
Fair
I
enough.
can surely lead you in the right direction. So
No, fair
because
enough,
I've
man.
been through it all. I've been through the pump and dumps and all those stuff. I've been through all that stuff. So if I can cut that out for some other people, I mean, that I don't have to make money off of it. It's like, it makes me feel good about myself to see somebody else successful off of something that I showed them. You know what I mean? So yeah,
Absolutely, man. I get it. I get it. And I think that's the ultimate joy all of us have in life is eventually making other people happy and making other people successful. So again, man, appreciate you coming on. I think Tony's got some kids in the other room screaming and yelling at him. So I'm not gonna belabor this any longer than we have to. So we'll go ahead and sign it off here, folks. Appreciate you tuning in. Like, share, subscribe. Look Brett up and start doing some day trading, some stocks, watch some UFC, and go buy some CBD, folks. It's good for you. It helps. It helps the pain, yo. All right. That's it, man. That's the conclusion to tonight's episode. This is a long one. Love you. Bye.